Hello, we are back live on the internets. Welcome back. I should put this chat frame in. Cool. How is everybody? How you guys doing? For anybody who's like coming to scope us out who was not here this weekend, just to like set the stage, it's August 8th right now. The 6th and 7th, we just did like a 40-hour marathon D&D stream here with all of our friends at Post Show Recaps. And so, yeah, like four of the five of us were playing. I ran two sessions. It was epic. You should like go look at the VODs and check it out because it's 41 hours of like incredible content, wild storytelling. We like laughed, we cried. There were like insane big moments and like just wonderful tiny little ones. And I had like so much fun. And we raised like nearly $6,000 for charity. I think the count as of right now is $5,783. It's like so far beyond my wildest expectations. I don't even know like what to say about it, right? There's links to all of like the information for that on the VOD. If you go look at it, you'll see it. A 40-hour marathon D&D stream right here at DM Philly. I think that they're probably still open for anybody out there who might be like inclined to contribute after the fact. Bit.ly/Wanda donate, and you can go like let us know on our Google form where we're just tracking the contributions we got from people. We highlighted a ton of different charities. I think we had 9 sessions and we had one charity each session that we made it a point to like just bring attention to and awareness to, and they were great causes. And gosh, for anybody who's here that like just stopped by or followed the channel, subbed, like said anything nice to the players or the dungeon masters, like I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It really, like, it's the juice, as we like to say in City of Mist. Like, for me, that's the juice, and it makes it, like, worth doing. You know, it's so exciting. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I should fix that. Look at you guys. You're, like, wiggled out all over the place. This is, this is what happens. Yep. Oh, no, it's not. See, this is what happens when you say to DM Philly, like, hey, run for 40 hours, like, produce a 40-hour stream. And then I try to get on like 5 hours, 6 hours of sleep and like fire it all back up again. Um, you guys talk while I type stuff. Oh, they can't hear you. Jesus Christ.
Probably because our videos are all crossed.
Everything's all going great.
Okay, now I think you can hear him,
Hey.
Stuart, right? Can you hear him?
Hello, can you hear us?
Hello, hello, hello.
Um,
Checking, check.
I'm usually a bit better about this, but yeah, it's been a long weekend, you guys. I'm frazzled.
How many hours of sleep did you get? When did you go to bed yesterday? This morning?
So I went to
I should
sleep
say.
at about 9:30 this morning. I got up at about 3:30 this afternoon. I showered, I ate food, I drank water, I fed the cats, I walked the dog. I picked a couple of flowers, and yeah,
Jeez.
it's not enough clearly
Wow,
because
I love that.
I'm a mess. Here we go. Boom, Kings of Neon. Now we got that fixed. Let me try to fix this other stuff. Why don't you guys talk for a little bit while I tweak this? Is that viable? Can I ask that of you?
Oh my
Sure,
god.
of
Talk to each
course.
other? I don't know.
I know,
After,
what?
after what
Ew.
happened last time.
What
We're
did
just-
I feel like didn't something happen between Nick and Lyra?
I mean, yeah, I think because
I'm trying to remember, I don't know.
like Nick
Mm.
came in and you like totally mind frazzled the bad guy,
Right.
and like she was all like broken and like freaked out and
Oh,
like
yeah, right.
and I
Right.
was
I
like,
had her
yeah.
like groveling on the ground.
Yeah, and I left you with because like we had an encounter earlier where like I could control it, and I said this is you in control, and like was
Yes.
very pointed, and
Mhm.
yeah, so like that ended badly with us. I know Iggy pieced out because he's upset, Yeah. None of
For
us
good
are-
reason, honestly.
Yeah, we
Totally
guys are-
valid.
Yeah.
100%
I think
valid.
Lyra and Jonathan together are terrible. Like,
Oh my
they're-
gosh,
and-
Chaos
and-
Crew.
Yeah, I could definitely see someone like Iggy freaking out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
I
my
mean, to be
gosh.
fair, those teenagers had it coming, so
I mean,
Don't they all?
True.
we dealt with
They
it
don't.
yesterday.
Don't
Like,
they
what do
all?
you do when like an innocent person is like possessed or taken over? You like have to knock them out.
I mean, it happens in movies constantly.
You have to knock them out, right?
To be fair, anyone knocked out for the amount of
Fair.
time that people get knocked out in movies are not okay. Like movies are just like you
Yeah.
knock someone out and they'll be fine. They'll wake up later and it's okay. And I'm like, no, that person
No,
definitely has like needs to go to a hospital immediately.
Yeah, that's brain damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow, my Skype is just like whacked out. It's not even anything I did, but like the Sheldon video is Kevin's feed. I got crazy stuff. We're gonna have to. Yeah. Okay. It's so weird. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, we'll figure it out.
Now I'm Iggy.
I know. Here, you get to be Escher.
I'm a
again.
webcam placeholder.
Yeah.
Oh, you're still me.
There we go.
True.
Okay. Things are coming.
We're
in.
almost there.
it
This is
is.
like a Rubik's cube
It
that we're
is,
trying
it
to
is.
Sheldon,
solve.
we can do the like high five thing. So can we, Karen.
There it is.
Not one
Okay,
way.
cool.
So, like,
Cool. Now it's like pretty mostly fixed, even though it says Kevin's video is actually said. Oh gosh, this is wild. Whatever is going on here. Well, whatever. It's a strange city that you guys live in. Very odd place.
Yep.
yes, it is.
Okay. Fixed. Thank you guys for bringing that to my
There we
attention.
go.
Yeah, Stuart, I am conscious. We're running another session. We had good momentum. I was like, should I take the day off, man? I don't think so. I think we gotta play.
I thought we agreed that I mean you take the day off from D&D, which I guess technically this isn't D&D.
Technically is
but
accurate.
I did.
Not D&D.
Yeah, it's really funny because we did this 40-hour marathon. All these people leveled up, and then today they're all like, "Ooh, DMs, could you help us?" And we're like, "Yeah, no."
no.
You
not.
know, like we'd love to help you, but not today. You know, like,
Figure out your own numbers.
yeah, exactly. You got the books. I don't know what to tell you. You know. Cool. But yeah, so no D&D today. We're back in the neon streets here, and obviously we're short of Kurt Clark. He's got other stuff going on today. We miss him, but we love him, and he will be back again. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a second since we played. We were talking about all the stuff that happened when we were here last time, and going over the fact that you guys, just for your guys' sake, so you know, that last little adventure or mystery, as they like to call it in City of Mist that we played, was not like of my own creation. This is one of the published mysteries that they've put out. It's really cool because Son of Oak is the studio that publishes the game, and they've done like a great job putting resources out. I mean, you guys have all looked through the book, and it's gorgeous, right? It's so like bright and vivid with the art, but they have a lot of really cool tools and like resources for playing City of Mist. There's a ton of like great mysteries that they've written. I think the game came out 2017, so it's been around for a minute now. And I'd like looked at that one a few times. I know you can watch other City of Mist streams where they play like that exact mystery basically with Victor and Veronica. We put our own little twist on it. I tweaked a couple of things to make it appropriate, but I thought it was like a funny.
Make it appropriate.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Still ended up beating up children.
We did.
Yeah, how many times did the other sessions beat up children?
I know.
Teenagers. I gotta
say.
clarify. Teenagers.
Yes,
Yeah, they weren't
Yes.
children.
they were teenagers. Yeah.
We weren't just like tossing toddlers through the air just to clarify.
Viking stuff.
No, we're not that bad. We're not sadists here. You know.
We'd aim for the couch cushions if it was.
Yeah.
Just towards the couch. We'll land somewhere soft.
Yeah, I'd be curious, you know. I have not like watched any others like through, but I feel like they all have to like beat up a couple of teenagers in that mystery. How do you get through that thing without beating some teenagers up? I mean, teenagers are obnoxious to begin with, but if they're infected with like a kind of viral magic weirdness in a hive mind, that's terrifying. I mean, it sounds maybe like social media. You know what I'm talking about?
We were just on Twitter, and if anything could get us punching teenagers quicker,
Mhm.
it's being on
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
So what's been going on in your real lives? I feel like it's been a second since we've all like been here together. What's going on with everybody? Nothing. Same old.
Nothing
Yeah.
really. I mean,
I
yeah,
went
playing
to
some D
yeah,
and
I went to a wedding.
Mm.
I left one job and I'm starting a new job next week. Been
Did you?
busy.
That's exciting.
Oh,
Congratulations, man. I hope
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I hope it's a fun transition. Those first couple of days could be always stressful and like anxious a little bit, but yeah.
Actually was I
I'm
kind of forgot about it because of the D&D session, honestly. Because that really feels like the biggest part of what's happened recently. But Thursday I went in for an interview at like a college right near me, and I went in for an assistant position and they offered me like a graphic design position,
nice.
which like I don't know if I have it or not. I'm like, hopefully I'll hear from them tomorrow. But like, yeah, I'm in like that big transition period. And yeah, it's tough, that like switch. So fingers crossed.
Cool.
But
Well, send good vibes to Taylor and like yeah, let's like manifest some positivity as we have here for the last couple of days. Yeah. Other than like producing a 42-hour stream and like running two sessions and playing and like all of that madness, which was incredible. I'm just doing my thing. I've been like running a bunch of D&D games for some clients. I went and saw the Green Knight, which was delightful, and I want to talk to Kevin about it at some point. I feel like I don't know. Somebody should podcast about that somewhere.
we'll have to see what we can do there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to watch it. I know Sheldon, you've seen it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I really
I
want to watch it.
yeah, I have trouble with a lot of art house movies in general.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I've gotten into a couple conversations about this. I have trouble watching allegory. Like reading allegory is fine, but like in a movie sense, it feels like I have trouble watching it and then picking out the pieces of what that scene meant as the next one's happening. Like it was a gorgeous, beautiful movie, and I get why a lot of people love it. But I just, for me, I was like, I can't. I wish I liked this more. Like, it was missing. I like dumb action movies, I think, a lot, and it was missing dumbness.
Oh, it was definitely missing dumbness. And like no shade,
Yeah.
man. Like I think I said the other night, but like there's treasure in trash, like especially with media, you know? And like I love a dumb action movie, you know, man? Like I don't know, you know, like all of that classic Die Hard, like, you know, Lethal Weapon bullshit from back in the day. Like, come on, Last Action Hero, you give me anything with Bruce Willis. What's
Love Last Action.
The Last Boy Scout is probably like one of my favorite movies of all time. Do you guys remember that with like him and I think Damon Wayans, right? Yeah,
Yes.
it's so good.
Yeah,
It's like so good. It's got the puppet.
so ridiculous that one.
But I like the honest take, Sheldon, because I think like a lot of people like it's inherent for us to maybe be a little like pretentious and be like, oh, it was so good, wasn't it? Like it was stunning to look at, but I'll admit, like I walked out of the theater like it was like a lost moment. Like I'm gonna need to watch that again, you know. Like I definitely did not understand a lot of like the depth of what I was seeing, and I came out like making a list of notes of like stuff I had to Google. And then be like, what is even going on here? But it was like really stunning to watch. And Dev Patel is awesome, so I liked it.
Dev Patel is incredible. Seeing him kind of in very regal garb,
Oh.
I never realized. I'm like, I want you to be a king. Like
Yeah.
you just look the part.
Yeah, he was a baller, man. I mean, it was a lot of
good.
fun. I freaking enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, and so was I'm forgetting her name, but the lady, the woodcutter's wife, who that speech that she gives about green things, best part of the movie for me.
Yeah, it's definitely like you're watching the whole thing for that one monologue. It's very good. Anyway, everybody should go check it out. And then tell us if you're on the Sheldon camp or the me camp. Like, I'm trying to be more pretentious than I probably am. I think I'm into it. Cool. Well, this is not fantasy Arthurian legend. This is a city of neon lights, concrete streets, and towering steel and glass skyscrapers. A place where strange and mysterious things happen in our city of neon. So normally in City of Mist, the opening thing is one of the players does a montage, but we're in a little bit of like weird transition. We're sort of still in the space between season one and season two. We're making a couple like tweaks and adjustments. So I would like to just get into it. As a lot of you, do you have first of all, I'm rushing myself. Do we have any of like our housekeeping, bookkeeping questions? We all like pretty good with our characters. Anything we need to go over?
My character has leveled up the last time that we played. My expression has gained a new benefit. And so I have decided to go. I'm trying to look for the exact wording here. But I know it's letter G under expression. Where did you go? There you are. And it is what additional expression, not necessarily related to the main one, does your mythos have? And so I have gone with many armed because, like many Hindu deities, they possess many hands that appear. So that's going to be a fun thing to happen to Nick.
Yes.
But it also feels like a pun based on
Correct.
just arms being weapons.
That's rad. That's
I love
rad.
that.
I dig it. So just a straight up extra power tag. That's a cool thing. I don't know. We talk about it all the time, but City of Mist is so cool because you're able to like advance your characters in the moment. Like we have this weakness tags, and when we pull on them, you mark attention. And when you mark attention 3 times, boom, you gain a new thing. So it's the kind of thing that like happens like in the session. It can happen like right there. If you want to like take the time like Kevin did to be like, hey, I want to read this. I'm gonna like look at the rules, right? But if you know like kind of where you want to go, it's cool. You can make notes for yourself. Like even the character sheets right here in Roll20 that we have. We don't show the Roll20 backdrop because there's not like a lot here. We're not doing tokens or anything like that. But there is space on them that like they show you on the back to like, oh, tell us like, or make note of like where you think you're going to advance, like what's fading and cracking, all that kind of stuff. And I really dig that. So that's awesome. Nick has advanced a little bit. Anything else? Have any of the rest of you guys had any significant changes?
No, I mean, similarly, I think I've looked at the books because I'm closing up on a couple and I'm just kind of waiting for that moment. I think I know where I'm going to go, depending on what weakness tag is pulled.
Hell yeah. Cool. I dig it. All right. Nice. So yeah, rather than like having one of you guys do the opening, I think that we'll have all of us do the opening. But the 5 of you, well, the 4 of you, along with your associate Iggy Bolton, you're all in a library in our metropolis one day, the Parabellum Athenaeum. Just to like validate again my pretentiousness, that's what I named the like city library of this place. But you were one day at the Parabellum Athenaeum where you all were in a book club, and something happened, and after that day you were all awakened to these strange and mysterious powers of these beings and items and icons from folklore and myth and legend. And with these new powers that you all have discovered, you all began to go through these transitions. You found each other bonded through your experiences over the last couple of weeks, having to deal with Anastasia and Artemis, these siblings that are involved in all manner of things here in our neon city. You ended up hunting down somebody that was a serial killer, an enemy of Kevin's mythos. Mahishasura is the great buffalo demon of legend, who is the enemy that led to the actual creation of Durga. And so after kind of nipping that all in the bud, you found yourselves in this interesting spot. You met a new friend at a jazz club. You solved a whole nother murder that was involved in a real estate manipulation with a series of sirens. And then as last we played, the lot of you ended up discovering some type of strange crew of teenage cultists who were infected with some kind of viral hive mind by these other twins, Victor and Veronica Chang, who
so many twins.
Yeah, It's a city of powerful twins. And there was a huge confrontation with you guys at a rainy night in a junkyard amidst a gang of these teenage cultists and these strange siblings with their ability to infect the minds of others, like with some viral load or whatever. But you overcame them, and you handed them over to another associate you have here. Is you guys have many friends in the city that you've made, or you know many
Many
people.
acquaintances.
A series of acquaintances. And one such was, of course, Detective Perez, who you called to take care of these siblings.
Well, one of us did.
Indeed. So as we pick back up tonight, I'd like for you guys to just set a scene and tell me where we see you. How about Jonathan? Let's start with you. As the camera opens, what do we see? Where do we find Jonathan Keeley tonight?
I think we find Jonathan. He's been, I think, getting a lot of calls from work that he hasn't been, producing a lot of the same type of hard hitting stories recently. A lot of the really bloody police crime scenes, and he seems to be following and trying to push that the city is more than you think it is. There are people in this city, we need to be talking about this, and he's, I think, arguing with the late night staff who just wants those tapes, like the Nightcrawler tapes. That's all we care about. We need a bloody news story. Nobody needs any nonsense about people that have other identities. I think he's just getting in a very kind of a verbal altercation with his boss, even though it's at the end of the day he'll bow and agree. But he's at the news station, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, this is one of the juxtapositions that.
You're muted, Rich.
This is one of the strong juxtapositions of City of Mist, that at the end of the day, despite the fact that Jonathan Keeley has the strength of a gargoyle, moth-like wings, and the abilities that he has, he still needs to pay some rent somewhere for that little cell in the basement where he sleeps a few hours every day.
Tiny. Yeah, that little concrete room.
So yeah, as we're watching this altercation with Jonathan and his boss, these animated people kind of agitated, we need the blood, we need the ratings, car crashes, house fires, murders. Nobody cares about any of this. You could chase your tinfoil conspiracies on your own time, but if you want to check, we need the goods. Awesome.
Yeah, and I think Jonathan just, kind of sadly accepts it, and that moment of just I'll do this for you, just once though, but next time I'm bringing you a big story.
And I think that there's the moment before you leave the news station with your contact there, where they're just bring us something that we can put on the prime time and we'll talk, Keeley. And as we see the trench-coated investigative reporter heading out of the door kind of slam and close behind him, I guess the scene fades to black. And we open up again on Escher, Maximore. Where do we find you, Zed?
Probably at home in their disaster of an apartment. I think similar to Jonathan trying to figure out how to keep paying for this disaster of an apartment. And because documentary filmmaking is so lucrative, they are probably combing through Indeed or ZipRecruiter or something, trying to find or TaskRabbit or something, just trying to find random.
And TaskRabbit have lasted 80 years into the future.
Listen, whatever the equivalent is, trying to find ways to make some money, because they don't have a lot of time to dedicate to pitching documentaries right now with all of the murders that they're busy dealing with instead.
Oh Oh gosh, there are quite a lot of murders around these parts, aren't there? Do we see as like we're like looking over like the shoulder of Escher down at like the laptop screen? Do we see like the unread stack of emails of like the solicitation, the like grant offers that like keep coming to them, offering to like give them funding for a series of documentary projects?
I mean, they're not opening anything that's coming from Archibald. If they're all coming from him or his various subsidiaries, that's not going to go anywhere.
Hmm.
But I think they're probably also a person who has like, 5 digits worth of unread emails
Oh,
in their inbox,
can't
which I don't even like saying. But
can't relate to that.
inbox zero person myself.
I would love to be an inbox zero person, but listen, we can't all be that good. It's,
I can't handle the numbers.
I am almost at 1,000.
No, make the red dots
No.
go away. I
Yes.
don't want them.
No.
Every time
I'm
I
a zero
delete,
out.
it takes like 3 days and it's back, and I'm like, it's futile. What am I even
You
doing?
gotta
the same.
unsubscribe from
I
the
do
thing.
Yeah.
gotta unsubscribe to a lot of
Yeah.
things.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm actually living that same life. I'm getting like these spams from things that I haven't like dealt with in 10 years. Like it's just one click. Why don't I do it? Instead, I just
Yes,
purge them.
quality of life. Open one, and click unsubscribe,
Well,
and they'll stop coming, and then you can start deleting.
there you go.
Yeah.
You guys came for awesome tabletop role playing content, but you're getting life lessons
Just
from
here
Zed.
to share my organizational skills
And
that
they're damn good
my
skills.
character does not have.
Sheldon is just getting taken over.
I know.
Just, yeah.
So as we like
Everyone does what she wants.
as we see Escher like working through all these like kind of side jobs and side hustles, trying to figure out how they can come up with some scratch to pay those bills, the scene fades out again. And Taylor, where do we open up on Lyra? Where do we see Lyra?
I think we see Lyra, much like the rest, doing her kind of due diligence for, thanks to Margaret for letting her stay in her home. And I think like she's in the gym, having just have like helped with a class, like a workout, and is like cleaning up the gym. And like, Margaret is like upstairs probably making some sort of expensive cocktail. Yeah, I think Lyra is just like, in workout clothes, kind of sweaty, like picking up, cleaning things. Boring stuff for Lyra.
What's the name of the gym
Nah.
again?
The cast?
The Cast. The acrobatic studio that Lyra doesn't quite call home, but fundamentally is, as she stays with her matriarch, as it were, Margaret Vi. And so as we watch her kind of going about these menial small tasks, like again, just like leaning into like this juxtaposition that despite like the myriad of insane things that like this group of individuals have been forced to do, ultimately they are trapped in a sense, handcuffed by the obligations of their everyday lives, because they're not just these mythic entities, they're also perfectly normal everyday people. And so as we fade out from the cast, the camera kind of coming out the front, seeing the signage in front of the small gym, we fade to black and we open up again on Nick Shivdar. Where are we, Nick?
Question: are we doing a montage right now by chance?
Yeah, we'll shift into a montage. Like, yeah, this could be an official montage.
Kevin's been
sure.
trying to get this burned power
I
back for like
know.
2 months.
Yeah, he has. It has been ages. We are basically doing a montage. It's very true. So yes, if you guys want to like look at the montage rules, we'll circle around one more time. But yes, let's consider this a montage.
Well, in the attempt to recover this burnt power tag that has gone for such a long time, I don't know how this counts, but I will say Nick is preparing for his next activity. But specifically, I think it's that camera style where you're in the apartment, and as you're like going through the apartment, you see like the shadow on the wall, and as the shadow is going, you see like 2 hands like kind of like trying to fix something around his neck, and as that's going on, you weirdly see another shadow of a hand running through his hair, and the hands seem a little bit off. But when they cut back to him and the camera comes around, he's like just finished, and he has only the two hands right now. And grabs a phone from the table. He's actually dressed very nice in the shirt and top button undone, not to be super nerdy, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and having a tie on.
Mm-hmm.
And he grabs his phone, and on the phone, you can see a dating app and a picture of someone as he is heading out the door.
Amazing. I love it. And so yeah, we see Nick like sharp and dapper, ready to head out into the world and pursue more of the things that people in the everyday world do, like relationships and fulfillment. Amazing. And so yeah, like let's shift into full montage mode of like downtime. For a lot of you, you can give attention to one of your logos. You could work a case, explore your mythos, prepare for your next activity, recover from your last activity. It's on page 267 of the book if anybody's looking for it.
Also on the roll 20.
Sure it is.
Go down.
Yeah, it's good. I was smart to put that there, huh? How silly.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to do that prepare style.
Yeah.
Technically, I was preparing for a date, but
You were, but you want to recover your burned power tag, right? That's like functionally. Yeah. Okay. So you recover your burned power tag. Does anybody else want to do anything out of like this montage here?
Yeah, I want to give attention to my not the logos, the my theme, right? Yeah, I want based on kind of what I was doing, I want to focus on the crime scene journalist aspect of it a little.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just had the page and I left.
But yeah, the notion here for anybody is like you have the logos, your everyday life, and your mythos, your like mythic abilities. And so in these montages, we can focus in on things that like don't get attention during the rest of the session in the scenes, right? The notion that like, no, off on the side, like I am still working my job. I am still like looking for resources. I am still like taking care of this woman that's important in my life. I'm pursuing for personal fulfillment and relationships and all this kind of stuff. Like you do have a life to live here amidst the murder investigations that seem unrelenting. Yep.
Yeah. And one of the things I think, he's trying to focus more on that routine as the crime scene journalist and really like trying to put in a little more time doing that. And I'm going to add the power tag. The question is, what quality do you now possess because of your routine? So as the crime scene journalist, I'm going to say he's often overlooked. Or I don't, maybe that, or like blends in anywhere, kind of the idea of him, he can just kind of fit in with the everyman because he's so used to just being like, I'm not the center of attention, let the cops do their thing, there's a body, but I'm here.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, and you guys have clearly done a lot of like, we need to get into places where maybe we wouldn't normally be. And like, yeah, don't pay attention to me. Yep. Okay, cool. So it's Nick and Jonathan, Escher, Lyra.
I think Lyra is going to kind of like just piggybacking off of that scene of her just cleaning up. I think she like, picks up whatever she's doing and like throws away, paper towels in the trash kind of angrily, like, oh, I'm so sick of this. And then yells up the stairs to Margaret like, I'm going out, I'll be back in a little bit. And just like walks out the door, grabbing her coat. And I think she walks for a while in the dark and then just turns quickly down an alleyway, makes her way up some sort of fire escape, and just goes and sits on a rooftop and prepares for her next activity by just doing some meditating and some like reaching out with her powers. But she's going to recover all of her burnt power tag.
Because you had a bunch, huh?
There were a couple last time, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we see Lyra like sitting up on the top of the roof of this building. I think probably as like the sun sets on like the western edge of the skyline, kind of vanishing between the columns of buildings. And like as it does, I think we see the neon light kind of suffusing everything. The stop signs and the car lights and the marquees and the billboards and all of these like a sort of myriad of color that fills this dark concrete space with the light of like 1,000 rainbows every night, right? And conceals the kind of the grit and the grime and everything else that lays beneath the surface. And so Escher, finally, to circle back.
Um, well, this isn't any of the things, but I marked crack on my mission because I'm not paying attention to the documentary stuff. But I guess it is. I mean, it's weird to mark attention on your personality when, like, your personality. But I don't know. Because my personality is stubbornly persistent, and so Escher is like focusing on doing what they need to do to be able to at least stay in their apartment, even if they're not like doing the creative stuff that they ideally want to be doing.
Yeah, I mean it's very much makes sense that while the circumstances of your life have driven you away from your mission to amplify and activate, to wake the people up in the world through your documentary filmmaking, you are stubbornly persistent and you're not going to let your life come unhinged because of this hardship that has like presented itself, these challenges that you have in front of you. Okay, cool. And so, with all of that being done, I think that the scene like fades to black one last time. And yeah, if I could take some liberties, I think that when we open up again, Nick, you're at work.
Okay. Yep.
And I don't know how the date went per se, but maybe we'll find out later. But I think that there's a point where like you've been working. Like, when do you work at the hospital? What are your hours? Are you there at night?
Yeah. Usually, I'll either do like an afternoon shift or a night shift. So
Excellent.
it could be like, yeah, just coming in, or, yeah, yeah. I think just coming in would make sense. Or stopping in to check in with everything after my date, see how everyone's holding up
Oh,
there.
that's even excellent. So, like, yeah, we see you like dressed like sharp as you are. It's later in the evening, the witching hour approaching, and as like you make your way into the hospital and are kind of like walking down one of the halls, this very sterile place, the fluorescent white light, distinctly different from this kind of myriad of color outside. And I think as we see you like walking down the hall, like you walk past one of the sort of like rooms with the hospital beds. You're sort of like down near the ER area, and I think just like casually, like you peek your head in, and you see a person like sitting in there on like one of the chairs, and like you have to double take as you like look back because they're like they look like they're gigantic. It seems like they're like 10 feet tall. And as you like look back into the room, you see that it looks like this girl, and her face is like very muddy and like dirty. The clothes that she's wearing are ratty and bedraggled. It's like an old pair of jeans that looks like it hasn't been washed in like far too long. Sneakers with the tread worn like near completely off. I think that she's got like a long sleeve thermal shirt with like a hoodie on top of that, and then like another coat like piled in her lap, and she's like sitting there, her face kind of screwed up in consternation, like looking down at the floor, mumbling to herself as you walk by.
So yeah, Nick would double take. And this person you said like looks 10 feet
Mm-hmm.
tall. So yeah, Nick's gonna look in the room, see this person, look around, and a doctor's like walking by. So there's that scene where Nick like grabs him and is just like, "Hey Jerry, like, this may be a weird question, but what do you see when you look into that room right now?"
Hmm? Oh, that girl, yeah, I don't know. She's waiting on a psych eval. She's really She says that something's happened to her, that she's gigantic, but I mean, look at her. She can't be 5 feet tall, if that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's definitely weird. I know I'm not on shift right now, but I got some free time. I'll talk to her, see what's going on.
Oh yeah, okay. I think he's just like, Freeburg is late tonight, but they're supposed to be coming in, so we told her to wait. I mean, she's obviously homeless, so I'm afraid that she like might try to duck. Just don't rattle her.
I'll do my best not to.
Okay. Later, Nick. I'll see you.
Yeah. Good luck on the surgery.
And, yeah.
I mean, I assume doctors are pretty careful surgeries they're gonna go to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, you gotta figure.
Yeah, 100%.
You do a much better job this time.
Yeah.
Zero deaths, right?
Super casual.
You get it one of these days, Sherry.
Oh, well, another one of us are getting paid out the odds. So, so Nick's gonna go in carefully, like not try to like just burst in there and be like, "Hey, why are you 10 feet tall?" But come on in and be like, "Hi, excuse me, are you waiting for psych eval? I hear."
Huh? I needed I need a doctor. I need a doctor. Something happened. I need a doctor.
Well, my name is Dr. Shivdar. I'm here to help. What seems to be the problem?
I mean, can't something happened to me. It's not right. I I'm gigantic.
Yeah.
Do, do, do you see it? It's not.
Yeah, I can see the issue at hand here.
You can, right?
And he'll like pull up a chair so he's sitting close to her level rather than standing above, and say like, "Yes, I can see that something seems to be the matter here."
Shh. Did OBS crash? Are we still up here? I'm sorry. Give me
Oh,
one
no.
second,
Can I see it spiraling?
This is amazing that this did not happen in 40 hours. Are we still here? We are still here. Yeah, we're still here. Okay, cool. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's better that it didn't happen within the 40 hours.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so as you like pull up in the chair, you pull up the chair and like sit down next to her. Holy cow, things are what is happening?
Technology is going crazy.
The time has come. The technology is revolting against us.
I know. Everything is like turned on me. They're like, you did
42
enough.
hours straight. How dare you?
Too much. Go take a nap, you animal. So you pull the chair up like next to her and you sit down. And just hit me one more time. What do you say as you sit down in the chair?
I can see what the issue seems to be. Do you know when did this problem start?
It was just today. It was just today.
Did you wake up like this? Did it just happen?
I was looking for a new place, and they brought me somewhere. They told me I could stay there, but when they brought me there, something happened, and then afterwards, all the others, they were very. It was very scary.
What's your name?
Aaron.
How old are you, Aaron?
17.
Okay. Well, Aaron, we're gonna get you the help that you need and do our best. Um, when you say that someone took you, this is before you became like this?
Yeah, yeah. It, I was I was at the soup kitchen for lunch,
Which zoo kitchen?
and they downtown on the East End. Salvation Souls.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. Continue. So you were there and some people came in?
You you see a lot of the same people, and they told me they they told me that there was some place that I could stay.
Also, while this is going on, can I also be checking like pupils, all the regular stuff just to make sure that beyond being a giant, uh, she's doing all right.
Yeah, as you're like looking into her eyes, she's got like blue eyes. Her face is very dirty. Her hair is like very, very kind of short, like so short almost. And like I think that she's got like the hood pulled up over her head, you know. So it's like hard even to like determine a color because she's kind of so uh, like muddy and this and that. Like it's been a while since this young lady has had any kind of like self care, right? So it's hard. But yeah, her eyes like seem fine. She doesn't seem like she's on any kind of like drugs or anything like that.
Well, it was more like
Like,
just heartbeat and all that too.
yeah. I mean, she's nervous. I think like you take the stethoscope and like her heartbeat's like her heart rate's a little elevated. She seems like nervous, but yeah.
Okay. So yeah, while this is going on, he's listening to as she's explaining who came and took her.
Yeah, and I think that she just says, they they said that there's a lot of them down there. I could I could find someplace and fit in. It's it's hard when you don't have anywhere to go and you don't know.
Yeah. Um, do you know where that location that they took you was? Can you
Shenets.
tell me?
I think she says, the old the old East End tunnel that that's it's under construction, you know, and like you would know it, right?
Hmm.
It's kind of like there's like a tunnel down underneath the bay on like the east side of town that heads out of the city.
Right.
And like you know exactly where it is. Like you're like, oh yeah, that place has been. It's like the Big Dig in Boston, right? You're like, it's been on construction for 15 years for
The
the entirety of your
the
adult
number two
life, you
train
know?
coming to New York at some point in the future. Um,
Yeah.
cool. Um, and there were other people there that they brought you, and then this happened while you were there.
Yeah. Yes. We went into the tunnel. They had keys for a service door.
Are there other people still there?
So many.
Okay.
They're they're at first I couldn't. They seemed n- normal, but after this happened, they're not.
Okay, Aaron. I'm gonna get someone to take care of you while you're here, and I'll see what I can find out more about what's going on with you and see how we can help. So I'm gonna send someone in. They'll take care of you. You can trust them, and just wait in the hospital, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can with any sort of information or results that we find.
Okay.
Um,
Can, can you fix it?
I'll try to see what I can do. Also, hey, I know you're 10 feet tall, but if they can't see it, that's on them.
Why, why can't they see it? I'm not. I have trouble, but I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy.
You're definitely not crazy. I can assure you that. Uh,
I think that like she reaches out, like her hands like kind of covered in grime under her fingernails, And I think like she like takes your hand and is like, "Thank you, thank you."
yeah, Nick's gonna put his other hand on top of hers and do the like, no problem. You stay here, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay? And
Okay.
when Nick leaves, he's gonna get one of the doctors that he trusts to tell them to, hey, can you take care of her, make sure no one bothers her, give her a room for the night, and see if you can get anyone to give her like a bath or get her a bath or something.
Yeah.
And food,
Yeah.
please.
All right. Sure. Yeah. We could take care of it.
Great. And then he's gonna group text to see, hey, we need to meet. Book club emergency. Meet at the library. Good old book club emergencies, you know those.
They're always coming
Yeah.
up. I think it's probably been like, about 2 or 3 weeks maybe since last time you guys were all together and you had to deal with that whole episode. So, is there anything else of note? Is there anything else? Is we like, do we just like fade and cut to you guys all meeting someplace?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Okay, where are you? Library?
Yeah, good old
Where else do
library
you
office.
solve a book club emergency?
Great point. So I think that actually, Asher, is like you're coming into the library. I think you live probably closest to it of everybody. And as you like show up at the library with your stuff, it's like pretty late at night. But I think that like the lights are still on, and you head through the front door, and like Zelda sees you and you come in, and she's like, "Oh, hello. It's been so long. How are you?"
Uh, I'm all right. How are you?
Actually, I think good. I think mostly good. Uh, I know you were looking for work, weren't you? I don't
Yeah,
mean to pry.
I was. How do you know that?
I know this.
Oh, I'm sure you must have mentioned it. No, didn't you?
I guess maybe it's not a very interesting conversation.
Zelda again, like this very tall, well over kind of like 6 foot tall woman. She's got this really like sort of ridiculous blouse on with like ruffles, It's not like a costume blouse or anything like that, but it's really a bit over the top, with the fingernails. And she's got these kind of cat's eye glasses on like the metal peeper keeper chain, and like a necklace with just like a pen hanging at the bottom of it. And I think like she takes the glasses off. They're like hanging, clattering, and she's just like, oh, I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. I just thought, well, I mean, we could hire you here. If that's interesting to you. I know that you're a person of learning.
Zelda's the BBEG.
I'm always, well, it's hard to find good staff, and I don't know. I have somebody leaving in a few weeks. I thought that I would mention it.
What
That's all.
what would I have to do?
It's really not very much, but you would put books back on the shelves, cataloging databases. I mean, if you were interested, we could talk. Maybe even some of the ordering, or if you had any programs that you wanted to develop. I have a I have a decent amount of autonomy.
You do or I would?
I do, and could extend it to you. We both could. Would.
Zelda's incredible.
Okay, I'll think about it. I gotta go meet
That's all.
my friends.
I. Okay.
Okay.
As Jonathan and Lyra, I think you two like see each other on the street as you're like arriving. Asher having made it inside already.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you attacked 8 children lately? Like, I'm bad with small talk. It's just I don't know. I'm hoping to know.
No,
and also,
no, actually.
Okay.
Actually, I went to visit Gerard the other day, and there was this mom with this abomination of a toddler that was like had
How
thrown
dare
himself on
you.
the floor, and oh my gosh, I can't handle it.
Yeah, it's
So
a
close, so
nightmare.
I got close, but I didn't because I was in a retirement home and I was trying to be nice. But
Practicing restraint. That's good.
sometimes it's good.
Hey, that's big,
Yeah. Yeah. How about you? Anything fun?
No, just hitting the old beat again, trying to make a story out of nothing. No crimes right now, I guess.
Well, hey, Nick texted us, so maybe we've got something fun.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, the camera follows the pair of you. As I imagine, you're probably coming in the back door, right, at the parking lot at back where you had your first altercations with Agent Anderson and Special Agent Anderson. And so, like, heading through the stacks from the back, I think you see the familiar, like, silhouette of Escher's majestic hair from behind as you, like, approach the table.
Party's here.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Zelda.
Oh, God. So as the three of you awkwardly like situate yourself at the table, like the front door opens and Nick comes in and Zelda like waves as you come in, like, oh, hello.
Hi, Zelda.
It's been too long. You should come by more often.
Yeah,
We're in the back.
I mean, these days book club meetings, usually when we meet, it's never for a good book, I guess.
But still, always for a good reason.
I guess that's true. So yeah, when Nick gets back there, he's does it awkward like, hey everyone's been a
What's going on? What's
while.
happening?
Book club emergency, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to elaborate on what that means exactly?
We have
Yeah.
personal lives. We were doing things,
Yeah,
Yeah.
speaking of personal lives, I know we have a key to this place, but we might need to find somewhere else to meet because Zelda is getting like way too up in our personal lives.
Zelda? That's Zelda?
Do you know another Zelda?
Not in real life.
Not the video game character.
That-
In your
no.
actual life.
No, I don't.
And if you did, Zelda would know that you did.
That's Zelda?
This is what I'm saying.
Well, okay. I mean, I like the library. It seems nice, but I met someone at the hospital. seems to be homeless youth, 17. She came in there because she's a giant.
What?
What's that?
Yeah. So definitely a book club situation. No one else seems to be able to see it, except me. Probably anyone else like us. She's definitely about 10 feet tall at this point. Everything else seems relatively normal about her, but she said that she was at a soup kitchen, the Salvation Souls.
Hmm.
And some people came in offering a place to stay down in the, the construction tunnel leads out of town. It's been that way for like 10 years. Keep saying they're going to extend
They're
out.
never gonna fix it. They never
No.
will.
Yeah. But said that there's somewhere in there that other homeless people being kept, and that's where this happened to her. So seems like something we should be checking into. She's pretty freaked out about the whole thing, so the more information we can get to help her, the better.
Yeah. Where she's at the hospital?
Yeah, she's at the hospital currently. I left her in the care of one of my friends.
Wouldn't mind chatting with her.
She's pretty freaked out about the whole thing. I asked her as much as I could, but
But she's giant.
she is giant.
I wonder if maybe she's just, we all have abilities that we can turn on and off. I wonder if she's like in defense mode, and she maybe just needs to chill, like not be big.
Possibility. It could be a good way to calm her down. They're giving her some food, getting her a
Yeah.
bath. But for
Pudding.
us, I mean, we sort of do know some people who know, as he turns to look at Escher, homeless people that might be able to give us some information. If you
Not
still happen to
Jonathan
have-
who walks the streets.
Well, we have a
Knows
direct
people better
connection
than
between
Escher.
Charlie, who has a homeless connection network.
I did not encounter our homeless friend Frank or Fred or whatever his name was by myself.
It's true, but
Somebody was with me. I don't remember who it was.
I don't have Charlie's number. If you have Charlie's number.
Or Billy the kid or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, we can text Charlie and we can just head over there.
I mean, are we going to the soup kitchen or to the construction site?
So the construction site, I've been over to that place once or twice. Okay.
Just go for fun.
No, and I don't go back to Margaret's for a while, or if we're fighting or something.
Well,
Just go.
I figured if we talk to any, Charlie or Frank, maybe we could at least get some more information before we go to the site itself. See if there's any.
Yeah.
If they know anything, have heard anything. Be prepared before we run into a situation of viral twins, whatever they were.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little, knowledge. Yeah, let's text Charlie.
We could also have two fronts, right? We can go from Charlie. We could also have Jonathan do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've probably got some friends down there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He owns the streets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think Jonathan's ready to head down there. I don't think he probably doesn't have a lot of their numbers, especially where they probably are a face-to-face basis.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so where exactly we're going? We're heading down towards the construction area?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
To the tunnel? Okay. So the scene fades to black. as you all are sitting around the library table. And we open back up as like the four of you are kind of like walking down the street, having made your way to like the east side of town. And there's like a long kind of river running along the east side of the city. Um, it's often like shrouded in this thick fog hanging over it, and very wide, like like a Hudson River level kind of wide. That like you have like you could see the faint light of like buildings on the other side of the city on the other side. But infamously, there's no bridges, and so this tunnel was started being developed decades ago. That oh yeah, we're gonna make an underpass, but plagued by construction problems and delays and budgets and yeah, never been finished. So I think as you guys are kind of like walking down towards it, it's one of these like the street sort of like dips down, and there's this sort of big underpass that like heads down underneath the river.
Should we call
And
Charlie before we go in?
Yeah.
I think everybody has Charlie's number at this
And
point.
I know Lyra.
I mean, I
does,
don't.
'cause Lyra's definitely texted him before.
Mhm.
But Esther, do you want
So-
to, or do you want me to?
You feel free.
I'm just like getting the vibe like should we call Charlie before we go in, and like the camera like cuts to like Jonathan, Nick, Lyra all like like back to Escher's like sort of like
We didn't go on
What?
one date like how many months ago? Like, let it go.
Like Lyra like pulls out her phone and like calls Charlie.
We just
Oh,
love
call
love,
him.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is not that.
So the phone like rings once or twice, and then you hear like oh hey,
Yo, what's up?
living the dream. I don't know what's going on with
That's
you.
the best you can do. Okay.
No, I just
anyway.
wasn't ready for it. All
No, it's
right.
fine. It's fine. So what do you know about the construction site, like the tunnel that's never ever going to be done? Do you know anything about the service doors down here, people using it for things that aren't construction?
Oh, are you guys like chasing a murderer down there? That's your thing,
No,
right?
I
You
don't
guys are
think
like kind
it's.
of murderer
I
catchers.
mean, gosh, I hope it's not murder. But we found a really tall girl that doesn't know what's happening to her, and apparently something happened to her in
how
the service
tall?
tunnel. Like 10.
Oh, like real tall.
Yeah.
So like, okay.
Not
In the
that
service
much
tunnel,
tall.
she's.
Like tall.
She's being taken care of. Like she got all freaked out. Whatever. So, but apparently there's a bunch of people down there. Do you know anything about that? Homeless
Oh
people?
yeah, no. Yeah, there's a ton of people down there. There's mazes. I mean, it's really it's like a bit of a labyrinth. Like warrens, tunnels all over the place. I'm not big on underground kind of thing, but yeah, be careful of the rats. There's a lot of rats.
Great. Okay, rats, lots of tunnels.
So I mean, you guys are going in there? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. If there's something wrong and people are getting taken, like, gonna try and probably not want that to happen to people.
I don't think anybody's getting taken down there, but there is.
Well, they're being like, oh, hey, we have this place that you can stay. Boom, you're 10 feet tall.
Well, I know a couple of my people that said that there's a lot of folks that live down there. So, look, I'm not sure. I'll be honest. I've not like delved around down there too much, but it seems kind of shady. I'd be careful. I don't know. I've never had any kind of great relationships with anyone I met from over there. The folks that I tend to work with, I think that's fair. Yeah, they're not those folks.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's secondhand. I wish I could tell you more, but I do know that from what I've heard, it's a labyrinth. So be careful.
Great. Looking forward to that. Okay, well, I mean, if you find anything out in the meantime, if you could look into this, maybe that'd be great.
I mean, look into this.
Yeah, you have people. Can you send somebody down there?
Wait, are we bros now? Is this a thing we do?
Are we not?
I mean, that's fair, but also, I thought you guys thought I was kind of a jerk, even though I got you keys to that warehouse. You locked that guy down there. You had that whole hostage situation happening for a couple
really,
days.
I don't understand what your skill set is. All I know is that you know really weird stuff, and we call you when we know weird stuff. And I have
my skill set.
I have no idea what you do. What kind of clearly there's something going on with you, but we have no clue. And you're kind of sketchy. And
I'm sketchy.
Hey, I'm not saying I'm not sketchy. I'm just saying that you're a little sketchy and
Okay, so we're accepting that we're both sketchy then.
Yeah.
And so you're asking me for a favor. I'm just trying to establish that I don't work for you guys or anything. I have a whole life going on. I like you people. You seem all right. I thought we'd
been through some shit together, so I thought we could at least be
we've been through some shit. Yeah, we've been through some shit.
Acquaintances.
Why you're really working me up here. Hey, is Asher around? How are they doing?
We're on the phone. Asher is doing pretty good.
Great, that's really good. Tell them that I said hi. I could check it out. Sure, I'll check it out. I'll get my people on this.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, where do you guys hang out? We should hang out sometime. I mean, maybe as a group when we're not
Jonathan, hangs out on the streets. I hang out.
Oh no, I know. I see him all the time.
In the roof, on the rooftops, and in a retirement home.
Yeah, I've seen you too. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Asher, she kind of has a hole somewhere that I'm pretty sure they hang out in.
A hole?
And Nick is just, at the hospital 24/7. So, yeah, sure, we'll definitely try and find a time to hang out.
I thought we just... It doesn't seem like...
Why don't you get a library card and then we'll talk?
Listen, am I supposed to do anything if I don't hear back from you guys? Is this one of these, don't hear from me in 12 hours, call my mom type things? Do you even have a mom? Never mind.
That's a conversation I can't have right now.
Well, I know you live with that lady, so I wasn't sure if that's a thing, but all right, we won't get into it. I'm going to talk to my people, but what am I supposed to do?
Just text me if you hear something. If you don't, text me
Text you? You're going into a bunch of tunnels underground. I have bad news for you, but technology, I don't think that towers and I don't know about technology, but cell phones don't work in tunnels often.
I don't know, man. Figure something out. Send somebody down. I don't know.
Who am I supposed to tell if you people don't come back?
Jeez.
What do I do? Do I go to the librarian?
Sure. She knows everything about us anyway.
Yeah, well, okay. Hey, just tell Escher I said hello. I guess I'll check this out. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, great.
This was awkward.
Yep, I usually am.
Okay, I mean, I'm not, but that's why it stands
You're
out
not?
to me. No, you guys make me nervous.
Yeah, we should.
You're intense.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bye. Have fun. Drink some tea or something.
Yeah, later.
Bye.
This is some real, weird guy wants to hang out after delivering energy.
Oh my God.
Also, while that conversation was happening, from what Jonathan said, I'd like to imagine Nick was just there, I use this app and it just works. And he's explaining to Asher. Just you just answer some questions and then they pair you up and
I'm not doing it, man. It's not happening. It's not.
All right.
No.
Just options there at the. Sort of.
Yeah,
looking.
I'm familiar with the concept. Thanks.
Okay. Cool. Oh, hey, what'd you find out?
Honestly, not much at all.
Yeah, no, he's useless.
Yeah, I really don't understand what his skill set is. I really, really don't. He has a homeless network, but apparently, I don't know what it's good for if he doesn't know about underground tunnels in the city. But sure. So. I don't know. I told him if you find something to like try and text us or whatever, and then it was made clear that we're going to be underground tunnels, so I probably won't get any text messages. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything useful, unfortunately. But yeah. He said there's going to be lots of rats. It's like a labyrinth down there.
Great.
So that looks
This will be a delight.
yeah, that sounds fun. So
So should we just go down there?
I
guess?
think so. That's going to be our best bet. Primary source of information.
All
And I
right.
think Jonathan pulls out his camera and is just starting to film everything. It's just like I'm gonna make a story out of nothing. There's something down here.
Nick is definitely trying to not be in the shot at all.
Yeah, don't film any of us. Like,
We're
be
all
cool,
a part
dude.
of this.
Yeah,
Yeah, but,
we're
like,
all
we don't
part
have
of
to
it. We
tell
don't need I don't want to be on the news.
All right, we'll do some creative cutting. We'll blur your faces and
There you
stuff.
go. Okay.
We'll do some
I don't
creative.
think
Creative
cut it.
Okay, so where you guys want to go then? What's the plan?
That's a very good question.
Let's just head to the service store. Why not? Straight shot it. Come on.
go right
Just
in.
go. Just go.
We've tried sneaking around a number of times before, and it's not always ended well. So now we're just apparently going for the blunt
Going
force
right for the
method.
door. Yeah, because last time we
sorry.
went in the front door, that worked out well.
So, you guys are going to start heading into this tunnel. There's like a very kind of lame, sort of like old sawhorses, like spray painted white with the blue lines, and it's just like city police. I think like tattered on like the edges is like some tape of like don't enter, do not enter, a bunch of like orange signs, active construction zone, danger ahead. We are not liable for any, a lot of this. It's like the four of you kind of like walk around one of like these sawhorses and start heading in. And it literally is like as wide as like a 4-lane kind of road heading into this tunnel you're walking. And I think you see on the edges there's the handrails, the like metal rails and risers going up, and there is like this tiled sort of arch to the whole thing. And you're able to head in like 50 or 60 feet this way, but there are no lights. So as you're like going in, the like sort of, I think as you turn back, we see the like refraction of like these like red and blue and like yellow kind of neon lights, just like as they fall into the opening of the shaft and fade that line of light behind you, right? And then it's like pitch dark going forward.
Anybody have dark vision?
That's the other game.
I mean, but Jonathan probably does.
Oh, I've got claustrophobia, if that helps.
I mean,
nope,
I
that
have
probably is the opposite.
I have heightened senses. I don't know if that counts as dark vision.
Yeah, Jonathan actually can't see in darkness, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jonathan and Lyra, you guys like step out in front. Are you holding your friend's hands, or what's happening here? Like, so what does this look like?
Please hold our hands.
Yeah,
Please
everybody
don't.
link. Yeah, everybody link up.
Yeah, I think Jonathan reaches for Escher's hand, then thinks twice and grabs Nick's instead.
Probably the right move.
Yeah, a wise choice.
Oh, fantastic. So yeah, you grab Nick's hand, and Lyra, like you're like walking with like Asher like right next to you there. And so the pair of you like lead in. And you
Escher will
walk-
hand you like the belt on like
There
their
you
leather
go.
jacket.
Okay, yeah, that's
It's like
perfect.
here.
Hold.
I was
You're
gonna
like
say
hold
like,
the
the
buckle.
belt, like the hand, like there cannot be flesh to flesh contact, no dice. So you're like leading Escher along by like the buckle on the sleeve. Jonathan and Nick hand in hand just next to you. And so the four of you like walk in for a ways. and you can see where like there are lights mounted up in the side, like, and a bunch of them seem like they're broken, like they've been like smashed and shattered. And after a time, you see like along this riser on the right side, there's like a break in the railing and a staircase leading up to like big steel kind of industrial door. And I think we see the like yellow sign on it, like do not enter, maintenance personnel only.
Should we knock?
Knock?
No. Let's just try it. Let's not make it brave. Let's not make a big deal out of it. The last door Jonathan and I tried to open, we thought it was locked like something crazy, and it was just open. So yeah, let's just try it. Yeah,
All right.
Lyra goes up and tries the door.
After you.
Yeah.
As you like go up and you try the door, like it opens like right up, sliding in, and as you like look further in, like it's dark. There's still like no light leading into this tunnel. Now it's like a literally like 5 foot wide kind of hallway. You guys can walk like shoulder to shoulder in pairs, right? But yeah.
I'm really starting to regret just coming in here like this.
Well, we have phones, right? We have flashlights on our phones. It's 2080. We have flashlights on our phones.
That's
Why are
not
taking the
true.
phone out?
I don't think my phone has that.
Oh,
Yeah. Jonathan he flips the phone open, It doesn't even have like the light on his face, as it's got like the
Fucking
kind of
antique.
greenish gray screen. And so Lyra, you flip your phone light on.
Yeah.
I think in like the instant that like the light like cuts like into the room, like opening the darkness up. First of all, you see like immediately like 10 feet in, there's a door to the right that's like open and there's an office. But as soon as the light fills the hallway up, I think we hear like the like scrittering and scattering is like literally like at least like a dozen rats you see like scurry. They like scurry around the hall into the office and then like racing down the hall. And as you're looking down, like kind of at the edges where the wall meets the floor, is all manner of sort of refuse and detritus, old, Hack Donald's bags and, Splendy's containers and a bunch of like, old Mudweiser cans and stuff like this.
yeah,
Did you say Mudweiser?
Mudweiser.
regret.
Very
Yeah.
appealing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the
Buddies.
sponsored beer of 2080 in the Neon City, Neon Metropolis. No, Mudweiser?
Mudweiser.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Well, this is disgusting.
Yeah, definitely regretting just coming down here.
What would you propose we had done instead?
Well, I don't know. I can still regret doing what we're doing and not have it back.
Cool. Great.
Well, I guess let's just you know what? Hang on. Just, can I just give me a second. Can Lyra like reach out with her awareness of power and see if she is aware of any such power?
Sure, it sounds like you want to make an investigate move.
Sure.
Like you're going to try to investigate.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
So what does this look like? Lyra like just kind of closes her eyes and reaches her mind out. Is that the deal? What do we see?
I think she kind of tightens her grip on Escher's buckle from the jacket, and just like reaches out and tries to see if there's any sort of power or something out there in the darkness.
Okay, I think it's going to be an investigate roll. What do you got? You obviously have an awareness of power. That's one of your power
Yes.
tags. What else?
Darkness.
It's dark. It's very dark.
Heightened senses.
Okay.
Sees that which is hidden.
Okay.
And let's use detect thoughts as well, as she's sort of reaching out, looking for thoughts, power, other people that are out here.
Okay, that sounds to me like you got like 5 tags right there, right?
Yes.
All right, just count that right.
Yeah.
Do we have any weakness tags? No.
I would say maybe sensory overload, but it's almost like
This is as
yeah, it's more like claustrophobic, like if anything.
yeah, it's very like quiet down here. The one I'd almost be
Yeah.
more inclined for is paranoia, but you're not that like jumpy, so I don't think any weakness tags. No weaknesses.
Okay. Investigate. Investigate. Here we go.
There you go.
Great success.
Oh,
Great.
great success! You get
That.
clues equal to your power. That's ridiculous. I
Okay.
can't believe you just rolled 5 clues. So you have 5 clues. What are we looking for here? You're searching, and like we're gonna remember, you did this like reaching out with your mind,
Yes.
searching for other power in here. So what are your questions?
So, do I feel any other powers out
Yes.
there? Okay,
Yes.
great. I do.
I think as like you are reaching out, your heightened senses. It's not a smell or a sound. You certainly don't see anything, but I think it's like your sense of touch almost, as like you almost can like feel this vibration in the air that you're like, ooh, that is different.
Cool. Okay. Um, what thoughts can I detect? Is there
That's a big question.
yeah, here's a better way to phrase it. Like other than my friends.
You just hear
Honestly.
us talking to ourselves. Right?
Yeah, really like just
Yeah, it's like maybe I should try that dating app. Like I'm never gonna try that dating app. You know what I mean? And Nick
Jonathan's
like,
like, are rats a story? As he's
what is like the first thought that I can detect, I guess.
Oh, fascinating. I think that your mind like reaching out, trying to detect thoughts. I think that the first thought you detect, it's like almost impossible to discern because it's like a chorus of thoughts all at once. And then you have to like focus for a second. As the sound, it's like almost like white noise that you're perceiving in your mind that you have to like kind of tune the signal in to gain some clarity. And as you do like focusing on it for a minute, you like catch the perceptions of like a very simple idea: food, hunger, food.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I guess that's not necessarily a human thought.
Is that an official question?
No.
That was a statement. That was a statement.
The other powers that I felt, is it can I tell, is there a source to the power?
Yes.
Great.
2 left.
Where is it?
Deeper in, it's like below you. It's deeper into the tunnels, further forward. Like you feel it coming down the tunnel, right? There's this office off on the right, and like it's further in. I don't know how to like
No,
better
I
articulate
just
it.
like
This
going
isn't me trying
forward
to
so
be
that Lyra
tricky.
can like
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
direction.
I'm not trying to be like coy or anything.
One more. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna save. I can save the last one, right?
Yeah, you sure can.
Okay. I'm gonna save it. But I think Lyra
Okay.
like turns to the group. There's sort of this like vibration to the air. I don't know if you guys can feel it. The rats, I think, are hungry. If it's not the rats, then I'm concerned. But yeah, there's definitely a source that I can feel. So I assume we should head in that direction if you guys want to.
What's in that office?
Is this you asking me? You gonna like peek your head
Yeah.
in, or are you asking Lyra? Yeah. So as you look in, I think that you see a bunch of like really kind of old, like not a bunch, but like two big old kind of metal desks with like the big sliding drawers like shoved up against the wall. There's like a desk lamp on one, a filing cabinet in the corner. I think that like strewn about in the room is like a bunch of garbage. And as you peek your head in, I think we see a bunch of the rats like scurry out in under the desks into like the cracks of rooms. But I think that there is one rat decidedly like sitting on one of the desks, and it's like sitting up, and it's got like what's left of a piece of a cheeseburger that it's just like holding in its two hands like, and as you pop your head in, it like stops and just looks at you like.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt your meal. And it's like try and step back.
Sorry.
It's like.
Well, that's disgusting. He's also gonna close the door.
Yikes. Okay.
There's some filing cabinets in there if anybody wanted to go look, but there's a rat having a cheeseburger.
That could go viral.
Nick's gonna lead the way for Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan goes to get a video of the cheeseburger rat.
You open the door like you. Or wait, you have your video
Yeah.
equipment.
Yeah.
Of course you do. Yeah, yeah. So like you open the door and the rat's got the cheeseburger like, and it just like repeats the same thing. It looks at you like. And as you like raise the camera up, it's got the little red light probably in the front of it, right? I think that like the red light reflects off its eyes for a minute, right? And there's this moment where like it's holding the cheeseburger with the red eyes, and it's like, and it just drops the cheeseburger, like falls on the desk. I think we see like the bun roll off, and like the little half-eaten patty like rolls and like flaps, and the rat like leaps off the desk and like darts towards the pair of you guys, like just like shoots right between the two of you and races out into the hallway running.
Does it have, does it have thoughts? Like, can I detect its thoughts as it runs past us?
Are you using your last clue to do that?
Would
or
that
is this
count as a clue, or is it just like
roll?
something I could do?
So like detecting, yeah, I guess that's true. It is something you can do, but you're like looking to like interrogate information out of it, which would like mean a roll per se. You don't have to, but I think you do like sense its thought. Well, I don't want to like I don't know. I don't know how to
You
parse
can
it.
take the clue if you want. I don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that if you like burn the
Yeah,
last
yeah.
clue, I think that you sense that that it's like going, it's definitely like, I'm just trying to like frame how to like, it's a rat, right? It's not this like echo of hunger that the others had, as it clearly was just eating Whack Donald's cheeseburger. But I think that what it is thinking about is that intruders,
Yeah.
trespassers, intruders, trespassers, warning, warning. And it like races down the hall.
Lyra like points at it, and it's like that. It's going to like tell something that we're here.
What?
And meanwhile, I can imagine like Jonathan swinging with the camera for the whole
Cheeseburger
thing.
rat?
Like,
Yeah.
I thought it would be a feel-good story.
Oh, we should chase that thing.
The rat?
Yeah. What do you mean? It's like throwing off a warning. Like it's going to somebody else.
Throwing off a what?
I mean, so then the thing that it's going to get is going to come here. So why do we want to go further in to go there?
Well, aren't we going to the source of the power anyway? I assume that's where it would be going.
Do we still have eyes on this rat? And slash, can anyone tell the difference between multiple rats?
No.
I don't
I
think
cannot.
you can tell the difference between the multiple rats and this rat. Like, you guys are talking,
Yeah.
not running. Nobody said I run after the rat, so I think it like has vanished into the darkness, right? Lyra's like phone, the light, like it darted straight down the hall, and you lost.
They're
sight of it.
very fast creatures.
Yeah.
Clearly. Well, I mean, I guess the only way to go is forward, unless we don't want to do this.
No, I have to do this.
I still think if the thing is coming to us, we don't need to get any further away from the exit than we already are.
I mean, I prefer to try to end up somewhere that maybe had a little more light, unless this thing can see in the dark, in which case
And
we're
you
screwed
think
either way.
further into the abandoned tunnels is going to have more light.
Well, if there's
My-
a homeless encampment, maybe.
Yeah, that's my. Where are all these people?
Aaron said there was lots of people here, so I haven't seen lots of people yet.
Or are they turning people into rats?
I think they probably went real wrong with Aaron then.
Yeah, that's clearly
Somebody put a
backfired.
decimal point in the wrong
Opposite
place on
direction.
calculation.
Or maybe she was. I don't know. I've got to stop thinking about this, or else we're gonna get really crazy. Okay. Well,
Oh, we
let's.
certainly haven't seen anything really crazy before in this city.
Yeah.
Looking
Well-
at Jonathan, the Mothman.
Let's keep going, shall we?
Okay.
The way.
Yeah. Lyra with
Any
her
last-
phone. We'll just.
Is Lyra with the phone is going to lead the way? Any last licks? Like Jonathan and Nick, you guys are kind of like standing in the office. The rat's left. Is there anything else that's happening? Escher, any of you guys want to do anything before we go?
Turn on the computer in the office, see what happens. Is this Fallout now? It's just gonna hack into the old computer.
Yeah, really. Yep. No, there is no computer. There's definitely like stacks and sheafs of papers and stuff like this. There seems to be like a big poster up on like a wall. But yeah, no computer.
Anything interesting on the paper of note? I mean, if the rat's gone, I guess I can like pull open the drawers to see what I can see in here.
Yeah.
Oh,
as
good,
you
more
start, like,
rats.
Yeah, as you start opening drawers, like a couple of rats do come out. You start like shuffling through the papers, and it looks like a bunch of like, just like you know, like bullshit tracking invoices, orders, like like building materials, construction stuff. But I guess as you like peer around a little bit more, this poster has like a piece of like plexiglass over it, and it's so kind of like grody and like whatever. You can't really like see what's behind it. But like, if yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Grody is one of my favorite words.
Yeah. Can I use one of the tax documents to wipe the
Yeah,
Oh,
you grab like
Oh.
some of the paper and start like wiping a little bit of it, and yeah, I think that you see that like it's like pretty clearly like a vague sort of or like a blueprint, right? Of like the tunnel layouts is what it looks like up behind the plexiglass, right? And like as you're like kind of wiping it off, it's very like simple. It's all this sort of black and white, just like lines, a very sort of simple map, like laying out the service tunnels.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of that with my phone and then take it back to the others. Like, hey, I found something interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like cut out like for almost that entire thing. What did you find?
I found a map of the tunnels. And I took a
Oh,
picture of it,
great. That's
so we have that now.
handy. Perfect.
Anybody really good with maps?
uh,
Not
Okay.
especially.
I would assume we could all follow one, maybe.
Yeah.
Is there anything on the
like
map
the
that
thing.
looks like a especially open area, like a rather than just tunnels, it's actually like an open or space?
That's a great question. So as you start like digging around, looking through it, Yeah, I think like it takes you a little bit, right? As you're like looking at like the poster, maybe like you're shining light on it, and like, yeah, it does look like it opens up into what is it? It probably would say like work area 2C, staging grounds, and yeah.
Well, if there was gonna be a bunch of people anywhere, I think this would be the spot. Tap tap tap.
Yeah, let's get
Yeah.
out of
Okay.
these close tunnels.
Yeah.
If we get into a fight or something, I don't think I can open my wings in here.
Yeah.
And so yeah, all right. So you guys are just gonna like head down the tunnels, right? You're trying to make your way towards like this workspace.
Think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything like noteworthy, or you're just like walking along? Lyra's in the front with the phone, flashlight, the four of you just walking.
Yeah, Nick is recounting his date to Jonathan. I mean, it
Jonathan's
seemed like it
very
went
proud.
pretty all right. She was okay. I don't know. I mean, it's tough, right? The dating life, and but I feel like I have to download it just because my mom keeps talking about dating and finding someone, and I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, you gotta choose family at some point, I guess, and you're listening.
Are you and Perez still going on dates, Jonathan?
I mean, they're not dates, they're meetups, and she's told me they're strictly business.
Yeah. Sure.
Nick glances over, like side eyes for a quick second, but then like darts his eyes back to his phone.
Okay. So I think that like the camera like fades as we like see the like Nick side eye, and then it comes back to, and you guys have made your way through these tunnels. There are a few points. I'm sure there's like there may even be a montage there of all of you like standing in intersections. Like, no, it's that way. Like, and so like you've been down here for a bit, right? There's a few points where like the tunnels like turn. You get the impression you're mostly heading along like parallel to like out towards like under the river or whatever, but at one point you have to like turn back in, and then finally like you find yourself at a doorway, and yeah, on the doorway is like a real rough like bunch of like scribbling and scrawling and like graffiti, right? um and as you guys like pull it open, it's a metal sort of corrugated steel staircase that goes down, and then it like doubles back on itself, and it seems like a couple of like floors of steel staircase. But you could see like dim light coming up from down underneath you finally.
Well, who wants to go down the creepy dark tunnel first?
I mean, why not come this far?
And I think as you guys are like standing here at the top talking about it, you hear like coming from down at the bottom of the stairs, you're like ding 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 ding, clearly footsteps of somebody coming up the stairs.
Um,
Should we hide? There's darkness.
It's just dark. Let's just be in the dark.
Yeah. Lyra turns her phone light off and like goes around the edge of the door and like gets in the dark, like pulls everybody back into like the shadows of the hallway.
Okay, like how far from the door? Like you guys are standing at the doorway, the hall goes like left and right. Like, what are you doing? You just gonna go off to the side a little bit? How far?
I'm just like 15,
Okay.
20 feet.
The rest of you guys go? Are you all cool with that? Does everybody kind of follow Lyra's?
Yeah. Lyra like pulls everyone. Jonathan, the red light on your camera.
How am I?
God, just cover it.
Still recording.
Think he's
Covering
like
it
the tiny bit of like red through the and so like ding 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 ding, it gets like much louder, and then you hear like I gotta go, I'm so behind, and oh god, where's click, and like this bright beaming light comes out of the door, and I think you see this short portly kind of fellow like step out of the doorway, and like they're like looking down like shit. and like they turned. I presume you went like the direction, like not where you came from, right? And they turned in the direction you came from, clearly with like a flashlight, a kind of like, you know, like shitty halogen flashlight. It's much better probably than we have today, as it's 2080. But they like turn and are just like, okay.
Nick
okay.
is doing his best, like trying to like smack Jonathan really hard against the and just like biting his tongue.
And so the guy's like, just starts like running down the hall.
Yeah,
Like,
I think Jonathan takes off after him.
Yeah.
Just like gonna go and try to.
Jonathan like runs out of the
Lyra
darkness. And like
goes with him 100%.
of
Like,
course,
oh, okay.
she does. And so like as we
Nick
see
just
Nick
turns
like,
to Ash and is just like,
Guess we're following the idiots. You want to stay here in the dark?
if this is what I think it is, kinda.
Okay.
Are they already gone?
I think that like we see like the trench coat trailing behind him as Jonathan like runs with the camera in one hand, and Lyra's like, oh, and like Lyra's like racing after him, you know.
Nick is like, splitting the party has always worked out for us so far.
And so I think that like the light has like dimmed a little bit. Like Nick and Asher, you guys are left like in this diminishing darkness as the figures like run down the hall and turn a corner, and we see like just the trail of Jonathan's trench coat around the corner, the like pixie bob of like Lyra's blue hair like racing after. As you guys are coming, like this fella's like, what is it? Oh!
I'm so excited about this.
Who are you two? I don't know you two. I don't know you two. You don't live here.
No, we're new.
Do you live here?
Maybe.
You're new? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you then. I gotta go.
Oh, okay. Who are you? What?
Whoa.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're kind of lost.
You lost?
Little
It's a
bit.
very confusing place. You shouldn't be down here. Come on, let's go. I gotta go. I'm going out now. If you want to get out, follow me. I gotta go.
Well, we're not. We're trying to get in.
That's great. I don't have time to go in. I gotta go. I just came from in. I gotta go.
Can you tell? Can you tell?
Tell what? Tell what?
Tell
What do
us
you want to
what's
know?
going on. Tell us what's going on.
Son of a bitch. What's going on? I'm leaving. That's what's going on.
Where do we go? Just tell us where to go. We'll get out of your
Where do
hair.
you want to go? You go down the stairs. You're not from here.
What's
You
down there?
go down the stairs.
What?
What's down there? We're trying to get down there. I want to be prepared.
That's a different story. You're not from here then, and you don't know where you're supposed to go, which means I shouldn't tell you, or I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. So I'm going to keep going to go do what I have to do.
Where are you going?
And good luck to you guys with your spelunking or whatever you're doing here.
I think Jonathan's
I've got a
gonna
date,
try
he
to
says.
do a. I think Jonathan's gonna grab him with one arm and try to do a convince roll. Just kind of like
Okay.
really put a firm hand on his shoulder and try to get him to talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Jonathan more like a kind of forcible convince where you're like grabbing him like, hey, hold on here, buddy. So as you're looking at him now, I think you see he's got like this kind of collared. He's wearing like a sports coat, you know what I mean? But it's all like frayed and torn up. And I think he's got like an ascot that's got like some like grease on it and whatever. His face is like a little bit grimy. His hair is like white and like frazzled, kind of like all over the place, but like got grime in it, you know. And yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Look at all these faces of these people.
Sorry.
Everybody's like,
Sliding
It's
into
good.
place. That's
It's good.
happening right now.
It's
Okay.
good. So Jonathan, convinced you grab this fellow on the shoulder.
Yeah. I'm trying to be more convincing. I should have taken something else when I leveled up, but I think I want to use part of it just with the firm grasp, the strength of a gargoyle, just to let him know like this is serious. I'm really talking to you.
Yeah, if I don't want to let you go, you won't go. Yeah. Mhm.
Exactly. And then I think I want to use I don't know if that fits. I would say snooping around, but we're not. I mean, we are kind of snooping around right now, and I'm trying to get something out of him. I don't.
I would be more inclined to give you contacts in every neighborhood, just in the sense that like you're good at talking to people, right? Like these are this is
Yeah.
like you can like engage with people like all over the place, all types, all sorts, right?
And Lyra did mention we're like here for reasons. We could easily tell them like we're trying to meet up with some people. Like we're just trying to get down there. Who do we talk to? That's what we want to like, kind of an idea. Okay, yeah. So I'll do those two for sure. Yeah, I think those are the main ones that make sense. I've just got a power of 2 right now.
Okay, convince with the power of 2. I don't think I'm calling on any of your weaknesses here. Nope, I think you're in good shape.
Yeah. Okay. Convince, power of 2.
Oh,
Success.
7, nice. It's a mild success. Okay. So what do you like? What's the status you're kind of like hanging over him? What are you threatening him with? It's not literally a threat, right? But this is this weird thing about the convince roll. Like, how are you? What's the status that he'll take if he doesn't stay?
I would say dislocated shoulder.
Okay, we'll give it to you. And so like he's like, I gotta go, guy, and he starts to like pull at you and feels your grip, and he's just like, okay, what do you want to know?
Look, we're trying to get down there. I want to know, who should we talk to? Like, we're trying to go down there. We don't want to make bad waves. We don't know a lot of people here. Who should we go introduce ourselves to down there?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people down there. It depends who. There's Samuel.
Who's the most important?
If you ask Samuel, he'll tell you he's the most important, okay? But if you ask... Yeah. But if you ask... I'm sorry, 1 second. I'm just double checking my stuff, right? He says, if you ask anybody else who lives down there, they'll tell you Granny Green.
Okay.
He says,
Samuel and Granny Green.
The truth of the matter is, can I be like really honest with you? I don't think it's either of them. He says, if anybody is actually of any kind of importance down there, it's going to be Rebecca.
All right.
Any one of them.
Great, you've been very helpful. Sorry about the whole. I got strong hands.
Listen, you're not the first rough and tumble guy I've met here, all right? It's fine. But I really got to go. It's not that big of a deal for you, maybe, but I got to get out of here. So if you want me to show you the way out, you just stick with me. I'll show you the way out. If you guys are going down there to talk to them, good luck.
Yeah, we're good. So we'll see ya.
All right? Bye.
Bye.
So fucking late. Shit.
While that
He,
entire conversation was happening, Nick is already through the door and seeing if Escher, like the moment they bolted, Nick went through back to the door and is seeing if Escher's coming with him.
I'm not gonna stand in the hallway in the dark by myself.
Yeah, and as he's going down, he's like super excited, and he's just like whispering to them like, giant girl, a guy coming out who's freaking out about his time and like a long underground tunnel, and then like he looks back and is like, we're going to goddamn Wonderland. And so he's like kind of like excitedly running. I love this book. Have you ever read it or seen the whole movie? This is really awesome.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Alice in Wonderland. This could be very dangerous.
Oh, it's definitely going to be dangerous. It's also probably going to be insane. I don't know how
Don't eat anything anybody gives you.
Oh, right. Don't want to be small or big. Oh man, this is gonna be so weird. I'm normally never really just excited about something, but
yeah, this is freaking me out a little bit. I've never seen you like this.
Oh, but like this one I know. Like no. Like the things we've encountered, I generally have very few ideas. Even myself, I barely know this stuff. But this is something I'm actually like familiar with. This is kind of cool now.
Okay. You can Lead the way to the hat guy or whatever.
Mad Hatter. You said you
So
read the
you
book.
is this happening as you guys are heading down the staircase, or
That's
is this
the
like
intent, I think.
okay?
Yeah.
So I think as you get to the bottom of the stairs, you see another one of these doors, these like metal service doors, but it's got like the little square of glass, right, with like the shatterproof glass in it, and so there's just like this dim kind of light like streaming through from the other side, and as you like pull the door open and step in, now you realize like it like feels almost like you're in like a sewer tunnel, right? You hear the sound of running water, you feel this kind of like moisture in the air around you, and I think as you like step into the place, you can hear the sounds of voices coming both from the left and the right in this tunnel that you're in, and it is much older, where the service tunnels you've been walking through are all this sort of white tile that has been put up in the last like 10 years. Like there's garbage and there's graffiti and there's stuff everywhere. And now that you're down here, I think you're seeing like brick archways, right? And these big, like heavy gray cobblestones that are literally like above you. And it's like, holy shit, how did people build things like that once upon a time, right? As you're looking at like the wall across from you. And I think you see like metal conduit, the aluminum conduit with like just a couple of light bulbs. Every like probably like 50 feet or so is one like shitty little dim flickering like 50-watt light bulb, you know? So you could go left or right.
Which way should we go?
I don't know. Uh, left?
Can't you maybe predict where we could end up?
I mean, I can see where we'll go. I don't know if I can like see a map. But where's the map?
Oh yeah.
You're the one with a map.
Oh yeah.
I looked up the map.
So further down the tunnel, like as you look at the map, you realize like it's just one layer, right? This is not an isometric map. It's just a two-dimensional series of like lines and grids. So the staging area you were heading to was like further down that hall that you just came from. The like door that you passed was kind of on your right, and like straight would have been the staging area. And now you're down on like a different level of this place that like you do see like you roughly are able to like orient yourself on the map. You're moving around on the phone, and you see like a mark that as you then like scroll over and check the key, it's like access tunnels to the sewer lines. Yep.
Uh, I mean, wrong movie, but we're not in Kansas anymore, so I don't know.
How far behind are Jonathan
Yeah, I was gonna
and
see if are they catching up.
Yeah.
I would love to come back and we're gone.
No, they're still like talking upstairs. I think like
Okay.
Jonathan's still holding. You guys are like down the stairs. So you're gonna head left. Is that the move?
Yeah.
Okay. So Nick turns, Escher following, and you guys like start walking along. And I think that, like at this point, like Jonathan and Lyra are probably heading back to like the stairs now, as like we have this like parallel shot. We probably would get like the split screen, right, of like Jonathan and Escher coming back, or Nick and Escher like walking away while Lyra and Jonathan come back, right? So Nick, Asher, as you guys are walking, like you're hearing this chattering, you're hearing these voices, and then like it's starting like get clearer, and you hear the like muttering of like, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, they said that there's four people that coming. He says that I don't know. They looked real clean, like they ain't our kin. I don't know what they're looking for down here, but they're coming. I'm telling you, man. And then you hear this other voice like, you're crazy, man. They don't come down here. Ain't nobody come down here but us, man. You know you're crazy. You gotta get off of this shit. You gotta get your head right. There ain't nobody coming down here. You seeing things again. You seeing things again. And you hear the other voice like, no, man. I'm telling you, they're coming. They're coming. It said that they're coming. And the other one's like, so what are you gonna do? Why don't you gonna go back up there and get them? Or I mean, what do you mean to do about it? What do you mean to do?
Uh, yeah, Nick is about to like just call out, and it's just like, what should we do?
You're Mr. Wonderland expert. You tell me.
Wonderland.
I mean, it's probably if there's two of them, it's probably could be Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Okay.
Isn't that cool, though?
Which means... Listen.
Hey, do you hear that, man? There's somebody talking. Maybe you're right. I told you they were coming. Hey, yous. Hey, we hear you. And I think that
yeah, that tracks.
I think that from about 20 or 40 feet down the hall, you see this head stick out from around the corner, and it's just staring at you for a second. And Nick waves, and then I think he's just back out of sight. You hear, they're wearing real nice clothes, man. I'm telling you, they from around here. And the other one's like, so why are you telling me about it? You're supposed to talk to him. And I think you see this second figure step out. And it's this really short guy. He's probably 5'8", And he seems scrawny.
Wow.
I didn't mean 5'8". I meant 4'8". I'm sorry.
I was about to say, who on this call is taller than 5'8"?
I'm not taller than 5'8".
Well,
I'm definitely
exactly,
sure.
that's my point.
Listen, it's been a long weekend.
It's been a long weekend surrounded by people who are 7'4" and 6'8", and
yeah, what is that craziness? These freaking talls. So I think you see this scrawny 4'8" guy step around, and he's wearing a turtleneck that has on it just this big it's the graphic, the logo of an orange kind of road cone or whatever, and he's got a flat top that seems ridiculously well manicured for a person that ostensibly hangs out in the sewers. And then the second figure steps out, and they're definitely way taller. But there's a very clear similarity in the face as you're looking. They have this sharp kind of chin and this crooking sort of nose. And this guy is wearing a tank top that on it has the same visage of the road cone, but facing down, And the taller one's do you see their clothes, man? They're not from around here. And the other one's I know, you fuck. Yeah, hello?
Hi, Yard.
Hello.
You guys Tweedledum and Tweedledee?
What the hell kind of thing is that to say to a person? I mean, there's two of us here. You gonna just ask us that? You just come down here? That's how you talk to people? Do I walk into your house and ask you if you are a witless moron? Is that a thing that I have ever done? I don't think so. And the other guy's yeah, man. I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about with that. Who are those guys? Are they guys? Are we supposed to know those guys? And the big guy's I don't know. But they sound like idiot names. They ain't our fucking names, are they? So no, we ain't those guys.
Okay, what are your names?
Me?
Well, both of you.
Yeah, I'm Jimmy. This is Mickey.
Jimmy and Mickey. Hi, Jimmy and Mickey. I'm Nick. This is Escher.
What the hell kind of name is that? Nick? Weird. And I think that's yeah, nice to meet you. Are you from around here? I think they look at Escher for a minute are you from around here or?
No.
I don't know. It's a big place. I don't know everybody.
Are there more of you back there?
I mean, yeah, there's a whole bunch of. I mean, come on, you want to sit down? You want a drink? And I think the other one's don't offer him a drink. I mean, what do you think, we're made of money over here? You know how long it took me to collect those freaking cans? And the big guy's stop it. It's not that often. We got people coming down here. We ought to at least offer him a drink. Come on, have a seat. We'll give you a drink. I mean, you don't have to take the drink, but I'm offering it to you. I don't care what this idiot says.
Well, appreciate the offer, but I think I'm okay on the drink. Did you guys happen to get lead here from the Salvation Souls soup kitchen?
How'd you know, man? Yeah, we just came down yesterday.
Yesterday.
Don't tell him that. Why are you telling him that? I mean, what is it? What are you, some kind of cop? You ain't a cop, are you, man? That looks like a fancy shirt.
Oh, No, not a cop.
No, we're pretty anti-cop, actually.
That's good to know. We don't like them guys up here. Down here. Where are we? Yeah, come on. I need that drink. Come on, come sit down. And I think that the one like walks around the corridor, and the tall one's like standing there looking at you like, yeah. I mean, you don't have to take the drink, but I do kind of want the drink again. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess have a seat and a conversation.
All right, come on. And so, like, you guys walk up a little bit and you see, like, again, it's like this brick archway. And as you look in, it's not like a room or anything. It's just this big kind of area. The tunnel keeps going further. There is this sort of trough in the center. You're walking on, like, old flagstone. And then it's kind of got, like, a recess in the middle, like an aqueduct, right? There is, like, water sort of running along the middle of this concourse. But as you come around the corner, you see it's like a sort of circular, like transition point, crossroads is what I'm trying to say, right? There's another set of tunnels coming like an X, and they've got like a big old like sofa down here that's got like stuffing coming out of it. The upholstery's all worn, and then there's literally like a couple of milk crates with like a stop sign on top of them, like a little bit of a table. But you come around and there's like a 12-pack of Mudweiser sitting on the stop sign and a couple of crushed cans. But there's like a teeming pile of rats. They're like a freaking ball. They're churning around in like the center of the room. They're like moving up in and out of the water. It's like a whole like surface area of rats right
The rat
there.
king.
And so one of them like sits down on the couch and like cracks the can and like starts tilting the short guy, and the taller one like comes in and like kind of pulls a can and just offers it to you.
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, no thanks.
Hey, it's a drink of the city. And he like pops it like, and the little one's like, oh yeah, look at him go, look at him go. I got $6 on Snappier over there. And the big one's like, I don't know, man. I'd say that Snaggletooth. That's the one. That's the one. Hey, you want to bet on our rat fights?
No.
I mean, that's
I'm
fair.
I
good.
don't.
It's kind of boring. We just been betting with each other all afternoon. We keep breaking even. I can't get up on this bastard.
Somehow not
You
surprising.
said you just got here yesterday?
Yeah.
It seems like you've been here for a long time. You seem well adjusted to your life here.
Nah, I mean, that was yesterday, right? And I think that the little one's like, yeah, it was yesterday. Come on, man. What are you thinking about? I mean, well, come on. How long can we live down here? It's like sewers or something. We can't just live down here. And the big guy's like, I mean, we didn't do much great living up there either. Let's be honest about things. At least we got this couch now. And the little one's like, I don't know. It felt comfortable pretty quickly.
Who brought you down here?
Us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I know you're talking to us. I just like to ask that question because I like to antagonize people a little bit. But Rebecca, was Rebecca?
Do you know where she is currently?
She's down that way somewhere. She's got like a whole kind of area.
Does Rebecca happen to wear a lot of white or a lot of red?
Oh, red, yeah. How'd you know? You know her?
No, just trying to get a grasp of the type.
I tell you what, that girl's got a heart so big, I'm surprised it don't bust right out of her chest. I ain't never met somebody so thoughtful. And the other one's like, yeah, we were having it pretty rough up there, I'll be honest with you. And at least she said that there's a place we might be able to fit in, a little bit, find some community here. So she brought us down, and I don't know, it seems all right so far.
And just which way is that one to Rebecca?
Yeah, straight, right down this way. Check it out. And I think the big guy is like, no, don't get up. I'll show him. And he like walks over to the thing and is like, look, and like taps on one of the walls. Come here, come on, I'll show you, right here.
All right, Nick is gonna Tap on the wall.
So you walk over and look like where he's tapping, and I think you just
Okay.
see it like carved into the rock. It's like really not very big at all, but it's the shape of a heart, right? With a little bit of like red filled in the gray of the rock.
Cool. You guys don't go to the other side of this tunnel, do you? The right side?
No, man, you don't want to go down there. No good. Samuel's down there.
Samuel wear a lot of white?
No, 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 no. He's a hothead. That guy. Ugh. No good. No good. And the little one's like, honestly, yeah, he's terrifying. I almost shit my pants. He came down here. He started yelling at her that she brought us down. He said that she ain't got no right to be bringing people down here. And she told him that he can basically go eat grits and chew on a shoe. She's the queen. She brings who she wants. She fills this place up. She kept us alive all these years. And so, that's what she says. And I'm okay with that. And the big one's like, yeah, Samuel, he's just looking to keep hoarding everything he can get back there and building that pile deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. He's been sleeping back there most of the time, but when he does wake up, look out.
Cool. That's very helpful to know. We don't want to go that way unless we have an item or two. One last question. You didn't happen to have met a girl named Erin down here at any point, did you?
Oh, that poor kid, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, do you know her? You found her? She took off. She freaked right out. She's got a little bit of trouble. She's a sweet girl, but she's got a little bit of trouble getting her thoughts out. She's got some real repressed issues, and the little one's like, yeah, I think that it's an overwhelming sense of anxiety that leads to an inability for her to articulate her thoughts in a meaningful way that allows her to communicate ideas to other people. But she seems sweet, yeah. She really was excited to have some Mudweiser. You want one?
No, I'm good. So, Mudweiser, did she eat anything else by chance or drink
Yeah,
anything else?
yeah. We had some tasty cakes too. They were freaking great, man. You want one? Here, I think we got a
No.
couple left. And I think you hear like the rattling of like a plastic bag next to him, and he pulls out some Winkies. You want one?
No, I'm good on that.
Man, you're missing out. More for me. And I think that actually, like, it's in this moment. It's like, Escher, what are you doing while Nick's talking to these two? Just bearing witness?
Yep. Mostly just watching. I asked some questions. Now Nick is taking over, and I am just doing my best to not make contact with any rats.
Okay, fair enough. The rats are like, this whole thing, and like, as I think that like the scene fades for a minute, and now like Jonathan, Lyra, you're at the top of the staircase, and yeah.
They seriously just left? Do you think they got taken?
Abandoned us.
Oh my gosh, man.
They probably got taken. All right, rescue mission. You and me.
Yeah, really.
Come
Okay.
in. We got this,
Listen,
guns
I don't know
blazing.
about you, but I'm getting some big like Wonderland vibes from this shit. So there are probably people tripping balls all over the place. There's gonna be some real sketchy shit down there. Don't drink anything. Don't eat anything.
Thank
I
you.
love the
Nothing.
contrast and excitement.
All right, yeah.
Be careful. This is gonna be messed up. We gotta be careful, man. Oh, they probably got taken by like I don't know. Oh man, this is not good. Okay, all right, let's
This
go.
is the
Let's go.
most freaked out I've seen you. This is interesting.
Well, no, I just there's some messed up stuff. There's some messed up stuff in Wonderland, and I don't know. We'll see. Let's go.
Yeah, so I think we head down the stairs quick.
Ting, 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 ting. You get to the bottom of the stairs, and yeah, you can hear some, like, again, same deal, right? You see this, like, brick, the water kind of running through the middle of the concourse, and you hear some voices to the right and, like, some voices to the left. And I think actually, as you get to the bottom of the stairs, there's this like,
Hello?
who are you two?
Hello?
Jonathan Keeley, how you doing?
Lyra?
It's really nice to meet you. Hi.
Where? Hello?
Oh no,
Who
I'm
are-
right here.
Yeah, what?
Where are you?
I'm right here. Can't you see me?
Are you a rat? Are we looking? Where
I
should we be
forget. No,
looking?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. You hear like this, like, it's suddenly like, out of the water, you see like this, like, this like splash, and like this person just kind of like stands up. Like, I'm sorry. I forget. I've been down here for so long. I forget with newcomers. Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm great. How are
That
you
sound-
two?
We're fine. What is this
Nice to meet you,
girl
Jonathan Keeley.
person look like?
Nice to meet you too, Lyra.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
So as you're like looking at them, they look wet. They're like have this like sort of brown hair like plastered to their face. They're wearing sort of like a ratty like sweatshirt that's got some kind of like local university like sports team logo on it or whatever, and like a pair of running shorts. And I think they like step up out of the water and they're wearing like cheap flip flops, you know. And they're like, "Oh, hi."
Hi. Hello. Were you just like in the water? Like
I forget sometimes that people who don't stay down here, well, it's a little unusual, but yeah, I like it in there.
oh, okay. That's cool.
Are you
That's
here
cool.
to see Granny?
Well, we might be here to see Granny Green.
Oh, you
or-
don't? Yeah. She's great. She would
Yeah.
like you to. I can tell you're different.
Is that like normally where people go? Like,
Oh, well, I mean, there's a lot of places you could go down here, but well, Granny takes care of us.
oh, okay. Well, maybe we should go talk to her.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, did you see two people come by before us?
Oh, you mean Mickey and Jimmy?
I don't think.
That was really perfect.
Incredible reaction.
What did they look like?
Hmm.
What did Mickey and Jimmy look like?
Short and tall. One's tall, one's short. They're people.
Did I mean, did one maybe? I mean, what we're looking for is like a really, really nerdy looking guy, and then
Oh.
like someone who just has an aura of beauty around them.
Oh.
Like, are
Big hair, like cool jacket.
No, I didn't see him.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
right.
there's so many folks down here. I don't know everybody. Granny doesn't like for us to. Well, there's places we're not supposed to go.
Oh.
Are you okay? Do you need us to help you?
I think that she like leans forward like, no, I'm pretty fine, but I mean, what kind of help?
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to put anything on you. If you're comfortable, but like that sounded like some language of somebody that might need a little help. I'm just checking.
I think she's
Yeah. Yeah.
she's like, oh, I didn't mean it that way.
Okay. Well, maybe we should go talk to Granny Green.
Yeah, how do we get there?
Oh, I mean, I could show you. You want to come?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be great. Sure.
Will you hold my hands? They're a little wet.
That's Sure. Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
So she
Yep.
just like reaches out and takes one of each of your hands, and she's like, "Now, you ready?
Uh,
1,
mm,
2."
Ready for what?
And like you guys are standing in a room, and around you hear like vroom, bang, 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 boo, 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 boo. I got you. You're dead. And you like look around, and like there's kids all over the fucking place.
Oh
There's like
no.
12 kids like playing in
Oh.
like a big room. They're like various ages, from like maybe like 12 down to like 4 or 5. But there's like a kid on the floor with like a Tonka truck, like, and then there's like a couple that are playing around with little like airplanes, and they all like, oh wow, hey, who's that?
It's a beautiful come around from the beginning of this session.
Gotcha.
Where, uh, the girl is still there in front of us?
Yeah. And she's like, oh no, everybody relax. You all keep playing. They're here to see Granny. And I think like one of the like maybe like 7 or 8-year-old girls is like staring at Lyra like, your hair's really blue. Are you gonna live
Yep.
here with us?
Probably not.
You should. It's so much fun.
Okay. Go, play and stuff.
Do you want to play with me?
No.
Can I put makeup on you? You look so pretty.
I already have some on.
What about you,
thanks.
mister? Can I put makeup on you? And I think that the girl that like brought you to here is like, relax, relax. Maybe later.
What's your name?
Me? I'm Emily.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Emily?
Emily, okay. Emily, yeah, can we get out of this room?
And she's like, sure, come on. And she's still like holding your hand. She like leads you forward. She's like, everybody just keep playing. You could talk to them after.
Your hands to yourself too.
Yeah, don't touch
Don't touch
me.
it. Sticky fingers and stuff.
Stop it.
So Jonathan and Lyra like wading through the children like they're in raw sewage. Like they were more comfortable in the sewers with the rats than in the playroom with the children. And so Emily like leads you to a back, and she like lets go of your hands, and she knocks. Okay, come on. And she opens the door, and as she does, there's like the sounds of birds chirping and insects chittering and making their variety of sounds. You hear the sound almost of like a waterfall trickling over rocks, and the sight in front of you, there's this sort of almost like fog hanging in the air, but it's green and lush. There's plants all around. And she's like, come on. And she steps into the room and like gestures for you to come in.
Right. If it's
okay.
the kids or this room, I'll take this room.
Yeah.
Okay, so you step in, Jonathan. Lyra, you follow?
Yep. Yeah, Lyra's just kind of like, mm-hmm.
And I think Emily pulls the door like closed behind you, and like you guys look around and are like, oh, this room is like big. It's like you basically feel like you're in a jungle now suddenly. As you look up, like you can't see a roof. There's like trees all around you. You see like the dim flickering blue of like sky hidden between the canopy of the trees. Like there's this sort of diffuse green light filling the space. And I think you hear like amidst all these sounds of nature around you, as you're looking, there's like a snake winding its way up a tree. I think you see like a toucan with like the big colored beak like cracking like a nut on a tree branch. And Emily's like, come on. And she starts to like skip forward a little bit almost, and you hear this soft kind of like almost like singing, like and like Emily's like leading you back. She's like, she's just right here.
Okay, great.
So the pair of you like take a couple steps following as you step around like the massive trunk of what looks like this kind of like cypress tree with all the like many different parts kind of fused together. You see this very sort of like large dark-skinned woman with this cascading like row of like dreadlocks that are literally, she's in a rocking chair. She's just sitting in a wooden rocking chair in the midst of all of this, and she's got her eyes closed, like rocking back and forth, and the dreads are like piled in her lap and drooped on the ground over the back of the chair. They're like very, very long. Like you get the idea, like I don't know how tall she is, but like, you know, they're as tall as like Lyra is almost, right? She's got like this incredibly long hair. And Emily's like, Granny, I made some new friends. And I think we see the woman's eyes open, and they're just like pure like yellow, these flat yellow eyes looking back at you. And we cut back to the other room with Nick and Escher.
Yeah, I think we should probably continue on.
Yeah, I guess go find the woman that brings everybody here.
Oh no, she don't bring everybody, but I mean she brought us, yeah. And the other one's like, yeah, I'm really glad too. I mean, if one of those other weirdos got us, imagine. I don't know, I don't want to live in no freaking jungle of nature-loving, tree-hugging weirdos. I don't even want to know what they're doing out there at night. So many kids too. I don't like kids. You like kids? What kind of thing is that?
No.
Okay.
Just met these people. Yeah, go meet her. Tell her we sent you.
Did she bring Aaron down here?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then that's who we want to see.
Yep. Just down that way. You won't miss it. Can't miss it. It's right there.
Great. Hey, can I get one of those Budweisers for the
Yeah, sure thing. Like, toss
Thanks.
it in the can.
I'm gonna put it in like my pocket. As Nick is walking, he turns to Escher just like, I'm gonna have to give Aaron alcohol, I think.
Oh my god, dude. And so as you guys like walk like a little bit further, I think you hear the voices of these two like, yeah, come on, go Pigtail, you got him. And one of the other ones is like, come on, Snaggletooth, you know you got this. And the rats are kind of just like fighting over like, we're gonna have to get him another cheeseburger. And so like you guys like walk.
You know, I probably should have figured it's not going to be as whimsical as I would have assumed, but I guess it's still interesting.
There's not much whimsical about the sewers.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we look all different sometimes when we change. Jonathan turns into a giant moth. I'm assuming those guys turned into that. But I guess we've never really seen anything change the environment, huh?
No.
Yeah.
You think giving Aaron that beer is going to fix her?
Well, it's a theory, but in the stories, you eat the cake to get big, and then you have to drink something to get small. Seems like those are the only things around. So either that, or I'm gonna go to jail.
Yeah, sure. So let's just, that seems worth the risk. Might make her small, might send you to jail. Either way.
I mean, we could try it on ourselves.
Nope.
We should also probably avoid the Samuel tunnel if it's possibly what I think it might be. Unless we have some sort of sword, maybe.
I think it's like just after you say that you hear like, who goes there?
Travelers? Who are you?
And so like stepping out from like around a corner is this big, like tall, buff looking burly dude. His head is like completely shaved. He has no hat. His like face is clean shaven, and he's just wearing like a white like wife beater tank top or whatever. It's not the right appropriate term. I got to come up with it. And it's all like greasy and covered in shit. And he's got on a pair of like fingerless like workman's gloves and like these sort of like reddish jeans and boots. And he's holding like what looks like a mop in one hand. And he's like, "Who art thou?"
I'm Nick. This is Escher.
Dost thou come for audience? You are not locals here. I know all such by sight and sound and smell and name.
We're not. We have in fact come for audience with
Her Highness.
The Queen. Yep. Cool.
Excellent. Present yourselves. Come hither. And so, like, you step
This
around.
is either going to go really well or really badly, he whispers to Asher.
And you see this, like, doorway. The, like, metal corrugated service doorways like many of the other ones that you've seen so far. And I think that he, like, steps correct next to it. He, like, turns himself at a perfect 90-degree angle, like, taking the butt of the mop, like, tunk, tunk. And he then, like, raps on the door 3 times. Your Royal Highness, I present to you newcomers into the Warrens. They have come to make audience with you. And then he just nods once, as though like he's nodding at the mop, like, You may enter. Speak no ill of my lady, or I will take from you something precious.
We shan't. You do a good job guarding.
Well, this is most appreciated. I do not yet know you, but should you choose to take providence amongst us in this great kingdom, I will remember that you have said this to me on our first meeting.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers indeed. And he then like takes one hand and is like pushes the door open.
All right, this part's a little more whimsical.
Yeah, sure.
Oh gosh.
And so he just like gestures a hand, holding his mop tight to his chest.
All right.
After you, Mr. Wonderland.
Sure. And so Nick walks in.
Okay. As Nick walks in, like Escher following behind, I think you see like a room. It's probably about like, I don't know, 50 by 50. Like, again, it's all this like kind of cobblestone, these big like gray black like stacked stones, right, with mortar in between them. And in like the back corner is a bunch of like corrugated metal, like set up to look almost like a shed, right? And like leading towards the shed, as you look around the rest of the room, there's a bunch of stuff. There's furniture is what you're seeing, like a beat up old bureau and like an armoire that's like kind of like a door is like hanging on it sideways a little bit. And then there's a couple of sets of like metal shelves, those like industrial kind of like restaurant grade metal shelving units that have like cardboard boxes on them. And yeah. There, as you look down at the floor after you come in, I think you hear the voice from outside, like, "To is thou left?" And you like look down at the floor and can see that there are, in fact, like these circular red tiles that lead towards like the corrugated metal shed in the corner.
Well, I guess we followed the yellow tiled road. I'm keep making the wrong reference. That's another one I like.
So
yeah, I don't need to encounter any flying monkeys either.
Oh man, I would lose my mind if we got to Oz.
So you...
Okay, let's focus on that first.
So like Escher, I think as you're like scanning the boxes on the shelf, you could see a bunch of them have like Sharpie written on them, and I like there's a few that like are on one shelf that's like children, infants, toddlers, 10 to 12 young adults, and then I think that you see like on another shelf it says like men, like small, medium, large, and then another shelf it's like women, small, medium, and large. All this kind of like these like labels on the boxes or whatever. But do you guys like follow the kind of red tiles over to the shed?
I mean, Nick is going to ask Asher, what the hell do you think that's about?
Uniforms?
Oh,
I mean, you want to open a box?
kinda.
I think we could do that. Just don't eat anything in it.
Wasn't planning on it, especially if it is uniforms. I don't think they'd be edible.
Or if it's actual people.
He's like about to reach for it, then like stops.
I don't know. Open the box.
Right. So Nick is gonna grab one of the boxes and bring it down, and then open it.
Which box? Which label?
I guess men medium.
As you open it, it's a bunch of clothes. It's not uniforms. It's all sorts of like mismatched clothes. They look like, hand-me-downs. None of it's new. It's all like worn or whatever. But it looks like, a couple like sweatshirts and t-shirts and like some pants and stuff like this.
Huh. Well, that's weird.
Is it? I think you hear a voice and there's like a bang, like you hear the kind of like that sound of like when you hit like a piece of like metal, right? It's this metal corrugated shed. Somebody like kind of bumps it. And as you guys turn and look back, like you see this woman is like standing at like the threshold, the doorway to it. And she looks like a pretty like attractive woman. Like she has long kind of like black hair that's woven in like a braid coming down over her shoulder over here, and she's wearing like a sort of like red like probably like a red like leather coat, with like a pair of jeans and these like red boots, like a white shirt underneath it. And she's like, do you often go through other people's things, or?
Not usually, but been finding ourselves in weird circumstances of late.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're here, so that story checks out.
I'm Nick. This is Escher.
Hello, Nick and Escher. I'm Rebecca. I'm sure my doorman mentioned it.
Yes, he did. So you're in charge down here?
In a manner of speaking, I'm in charge in here, a little bit out there.
So why are you bringing people down here?
Would you like me to bring you down here? I mean, you seem to have gotten here yourself, but what were you going to say?
You freaked out a kid
Oh.
that we met.
Oh, did you find her? Aaron? You found her?
Sort of.
I was worried. I'm worried about her.
So are we? She doesn't like being giant.
Well, that's temporary. I was trying to explain it to her. It's not like I mean, did you get to pick? Did you get to choose? She looks at you, Nick.
No, but you seem a little more aware than some of the other people down here about what's going on.
I am. And that's why.
Would a beer fix it?
A beer? I don't know. I doubt it. Shh.
Okay, well, that answers one question.
Yeah, I'll just put this over here.
And she's like, "Oh, you saw the boys then? Mickey and
Yeah.
Jimmy? Yeah. Well, they're a handful, but they mean well. They love those rats."
Yeah, but they're having them fight each other. That's a weird sort of love, isn't
Oh
it?
no, they're just watching the fighting. The rats are their own entire separate ball of, well, rats.
So you're aware of what's happening. You know what you are, I assume. Sounds like it anyway.
I do. And I don't.
Who else down here does?
Most of us. Some. Well, I mean, it's different for all of us, isn't it? I've never met any two of us that were the same. I mean, I just try to make a space for people who don't fit anywhere else. When I saw the girl, I kept my eye on her for a few weeks, and she's not succeeding up there. There is no place for her where she fits, where she can be her best self. So I thought I would offer her something else. She's all right. She's not hurt. Just big.
Just big.
Well, I think it will go away on its own. If you brought her back, I'm sure it would.
But she said nothing happened until she was down here.
It's a strange place. Everything is. What's closer? Can't you feel it?
Well, it's small spaces.
No. Can I show you something?
Okay.
I think she's like, we're all feeling a bit nervous. You're not alone. I think I'm just as scared of you as you are of me. So, if I could, and I think she gestures to the shed, like, just show you. And she walks over to it.
Uh-huh.
Show us what?
Are you gonna like walk over to the door?
Not yet.
I think she's just like
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I
think
suppose.
that like Nick, are you walking to the door?
Yeah.
Is it just this moment of the two of you kind of like glancing at each other, like
Yeah, looking at each other.
And so she's like, I can show you. If you don't want to look, what I say won't matter.
All right.
The Red Queen has a she shed.
Yeah.
Oh God! Oh my God! Oh my God! It did not mean.
Nick will go ahead and step forward.
Okay, so you walk up, and she just like looks at you and is like, "Why don't?" She says to you, Escher, "Why don't you just watch him, and that should reassure you." And so she like she's standing next to like the threshold to the shed, and there's like a tarp hanging where there would be a door, right? And I think she just kind of like pulls it out of the way a little bit, and it looks like dark inside, but like as you step up, she just like looks at you and is like, "I'm not going to do anything to make this tense. Just step in. Your friend's right here."
All right, I'm the curious type. Why not? And Nick steps forward.
As Nick like steps in, she just like lets go of the tarp and it kind of cascades behind him. Nick like stepping into the darkness as the tarp falls closed over the entrance of the shed. And she just is like literally, yeah, sure, she looks at you and like puts both hands up like, Nick, you like take a step forward and the dank kind of moist smelly air of the tunnels is like immediately gone, and you smell roses in abundance, the air just filled with it, and there's a warm breeze, and you like look around you as you're standing in what looks like great hall of some like magnificent castle. There's stained glass windows with light kind of like streaming through the sides, and there's like people all over the place doing things. I think you see people like kind of like sweeping, and there's a couple people like on ladders replacing candles in like these kind of candelabras that are like on the walls, like, and there's some people in the middle of the room that have like a chandelier also with candles that's been like lowered, and they're kind of like replacing the candles. And you come in, they don't even like pay you like but a bit of mind, but the place looks like gigantic, you know. And then there is a dais with a ridiculous kind of throne with a huge like heart for the back of the chair in like red satin, these ostentatious kind of arms.
Well, this is weird as hell.
And meanwhile, Asher, as you're like outside in the other room, she's looking at you and she just says, I don't know what your thing is, but it's the mist. I don't know why. I think the old woman might. But there's places here where it's closer. There's some up there too. But down here, it's like it's leaking out from wherever it comes, I think. And some people who haven't woken up on their own, I bring them here so that they can find the other half and maybe a path that's not as hard. Because up there, you can't just be this, you have to be that, and these things work at cross purposes sometimes.
I'm aware.
Right, so I
don't know about just taking kids down here, though.
I'm not a kidnapper. I don't take anybody. I invite them, and they make choices. I didn't feed the underage girl alcohol or anything. I mean, who would do that? It's not like I got her drunk and lured her here. And then I think that she's just like gestures to the thing and is like, is Nick maybe a little bit, is that a bit of an issue for him, or?
No.
Okay. Just check.
He's just getting a little worked up about the whole Wonderland idea.
Oh, please don't. That's not. It's not this wing. I mean, maybe, but we don't say that because there's a lot of us, and we don't all fit. We're not all from that neighborhood.
Okay.
I don't
really, because like everyone we've met in this place screams that place.
Well, you haven't met everybody here then. And I think we cut back as Lyra and like Jonathan are standing in a freaking jungle, and this old woman is like sitting in a rocking chair, and her eyes open, and they're just like yellow. And I think like she like is like staring at you with these pupilless eyes, and the little girl Emily is like, these two were just down here looking around, so I wanted to introduce them to you, Granny. And like the head like nods a little bit as like the yellow eyes are just matching yours, Jonathan. And I think next to you, Lyra, or Lyra, you like look at Jonathan next to you, and you sense like he's not like just standing there in his trench coat, right? He's suddenly like a foot taller than you, and his eyes are red, and like the wings, I don't know that they're unfurled, but like he's in his like, yeah, he's more than human. And I think the voice of this woman is like, oh, look at you. I haven't seen you in a long time.
You know us?
Will you? And then I think she turns looking at you and like suddenly like grabs the handle of the rocking chair and stands up like, she needs to go now. And suddenly, like, the voice is like it's coming down through the sky. She must go! She must go!
Whoa.
Samuel will come!
Wait,
you need to get her out of here if Samuel finds her here.
No, please. I'm not. It's okay. Please. I'm not gonna hurt anyone. I'm not. I know. Okay? I know. Please.
And I think at this point you hear a separate voice from behind you, Lyra, like, you're not going to hurt anyone, no. I need you to roll to face danger.
Shit.
Okay. You two and your antics.
Fair enough.
I love it.
Hey, all I did was exist.
Story of my life.
Oh.
Also, I love that we're in that different wings are different things. I was racking my brain, like, who is it caterpillar? What's happening? So
also, I was gonna say, I don't think Jonathan's read Alice in Wonderland, but going through a room full of children, he is like convinced he's now the Matrix, and he is trying to figure that out. he's like,
oh my god, oh my god, dude, that's
incredible.
So good.
Okay. Going to face danger.
Okay, so this is what happens, Lyra. You like whip your head around, and there's an immediate moment of recognition. You've spent much of the past months crawling around on the tops of buildings. You've developed a new sense to reach out for other power, and one of your mysteries is like, what is a threat to your power?
Yeah.
Right? Like, this thing is a threat to your power. There's a direct and immediate recognition as you turn around and there's a man standing there who seems like he's somewhere near 7 feet tall. His eyes are like glimmering at you. He's wearing this black, like perfect kind of suit, though it's very old, and it seems to have these almost like red like scalloping of like embroidery on it. But there's an immediate like recognition of what you're not certain, but like something snaps where you're like, you see that his hands are like bedecked with rings, too many, and yeah, his face is like perfectly smooth and almost like his mouth almost like slightly extended, his nose, and like there's a little bit of like, and he's just like, be gone. And so you're rolling to face danger as like you feel yourself like being pulled out of here. There's something like greater.
All right. I guess Lyra's reaction is he like touching her? Is he like reaching out?
He's standing with like his hands at his side, like looking at you with this like glimmer, this sheen on his eyes.
Okay. I think she's just like, she's not doing anything physical. I think that she's just kind of like trying to just block that But so yeah, I impenetrable mind.
That fits.
Um, would the awareness of power
Yes.
work here because this is like a recognition?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll give it to you. That's not the right sheet.
It's not really dark in
No,
here.
it is not dark at all.
Right. Jungle land. Gosh. Would either would hard to hit work in this situation?
I'll give you that, sure. But I am going to also hit you with sensory overload and paranoia.
Avoiding. Okay. Goodness, children. Absolutely not. Okay. Yeah, I really don't have much in the way of Yep.
Could Jonathan help out? Like, could I use a help point with Lyra?
Absolutely.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I've got that visceral sense of danger.
You do.
And so I think just to kind of back up the heads up, I want to give a help point.
Awesome. Okay.
So
Well-
yeah, Jonathan's basically burning a juice once a session because you guys are tight like that. You can make the juice equal
right.
2. So you're giving her like a status or something. What are you trying to give her, or a story tag? Like how do you help? What's the help?
I think maybe like you're not alone. Maybe I've got your back. Kind of a sense of you're not in this. I don't know how to fully say it. But I feel like it seems like a thing that's drawing like Lyra in and just letting Lyra know like no I'm still here, like you're not alone in
Okay,
this.
yeah, like supported, right? Not alone is even fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can take 2 help points there. So you're ultimately rolling with the power
Great.
of 3 to face danger, right? Go for it.
Yes. Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Okay, a mild success. Lyra, you
Yeah.
basically, like, what you see, Jonathan, is Lyra like grows insubstantial and wraith-like, much like you've seen her do many times before. And rather than being driven straight out of this place back to the surface, you suddenly like blink and you find yourself like standing at the top of the staircase again. And Jonathan, like, you're there alone, right? And I think that like this man like looks at you like, I have no quarrel with you, but if you bring that back there again, it will never leave here. Good night, woman. As it like looks at the old lady in the rocking chair and then just turns and like steps back through the door. And the old lady in the chair at this point like sits back down. The little wet girl Emily, that was a terrible turn of phrase. Emily Emily is just like was she a scary monster?
I mean, monster, I wouldn't, but scary. Yeah, she's scary.
We're all kind of monsters down here for someone, but if Samuel doesn't like her, I'd be careful. Tell her she probably shouldn't come back.
I mean, just between you and me, if I tell her that, that's gonna make her want to come back here even more.
And I think at this point, the old woman in the rocking chair, Granny, is like, this is a place you belong. She's not a thing of nature. Samuel, my voices are getting all muddied. It's late. I think she's just like, Samuel knows her. Their fates are connected. They go back from before.
Before?
Before this all existed. when we were just one thing still.
But you think I belong here for some reason?
And I think that, like, with that, she just, like, murmurs, like, you're not Jonathan Keeley anymore, honey. And, like, these moths just come, like, dropping down out of the trees and start just, like, fluttering around her in the rocking chair. And she's like, none of us are one thing anymore. I need to take a nap, Emily. Why don't you show your friend the way back home? And Emily's like, okay, Granny. We should go. She gets tired easy. She's very old.
Yeah, okay. Do you mind if I, like, record a little bit of this?
I think she's like, go right ahead. It's really pretty.
And yeah, Jonathan's filming it, but I think eventually we'll go with Emily.
Okay. And I think Emily leads you, like, back through the room of children and opens the door. And, like, as she, like, opens the door and, like, steps out of it, you're standing at the top of the stairs with Lyra. And she just, like, you step through and she's on the other side of the threshold and she's like, I'm sorry that Samuel made you go. I don't really go up there very much, but, well, you seemed like a nice monster. I thought we might be friends. I guess we can't.
Thanks. Oh, okay.
Well, I can't go up there and you can't come down here, so it was nice to meet you, Lyra. Goodbye, Jonathan.
Goodbye. Seriously, if you need to get out of here, we can come back.
I never really liked it up there. I never really... Well, it was hard to figure it out. I like it here. I hope we talk again.
Gotta find what's home. Yeah, I think Jonathan just waves at her.
And she closes the door. And meanwhile, we, like, cut back to, like, Nick in this grand hall.
Is there... How do I get out of here?
If you just, like, turn back around, there is, like, a set of, like, these huge oaken, like, double doors with the iron rings on them. Like, they're right behind you, you know? You just, like, came through the tarp.
Yeah.
But, like...
Do I look like myself?
Yeah, except that you're, like, a big, beautiful blue woman with many arms. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, totally.
But otherwise exactly like yourself.
You gotta, like, look at your arms, and you're like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to get the hell out of here. This is super weird. And I'm gonna turn around and, like, bolt towards the door and, like, push them open to get back
You
out.
shove the door open, and, like, Escher, you see Nick come, like, stumbling out, like, through the tarp, right? Like...
Am I me? Am I back to normal?
Yeah.
Am I...
Yeah. And so I...
Are you okay?
Yeah, that was...
I'm sorry if that was startling.
Weird.
Are you all right?
I think so.
And so I think she looks back at you, Escher, like, you see? That's all.
There's a castle in there.
Yeah. I have a few things happening I have to go attend to, but I can't do anything for Erin while she's up there. I do think she'll... I mean, if she can get a few good nights sleep, but if you want to bring her back, I think we can make some more proactive efforts, but it's not science.
No, it's definitely something else. It's like, I don't like that much.
Anyway, I don't mean to rush off, but...
So, before you go, you know who yourself is. Like, you know you're the Queen of Hearts.
I think a lot of things, Nick. What I know, I'm not sure.
And the people that came down here, they weren't like us now when they came down. This is causing it, as he points to the shed.
No, it's not. It's not this. It's this. I kind of explained it to your friend. Maybe she has some thoughts.
They.
I'm just trying to make sure that the people who need someone strong to take care of them have that. There were some here when I got here already. Others came just like you two. This isn't the only place it happens. The mist, well, it's mist. It gets everywhere. But I'm trying to do what I can. The way I know how.
All right. Just don't cut off anyone's heads.
It's a daily struggle. I
can relate.
I really do have to
It's
go.
comforting.
Good luck. Please tell Aaron I'm really sorry.
Yeah. All right. And I guess Nick will head out.
Okay.
So what the hell does she tell?
Something like the mist leaks here.
Okay.
Family leaks.
I mean, I went into that shed and I was in her castle, like legit castle, and I looked not like me, but like the other part of me, that from the myth. Like I looked like Durga.
Was anybody else in there?
Yeah, a couple people. They didn't really pay much attention to me. They were fixing some candelabras and chandeliers.
Okay.
I don't know.
Kind of suck if your mythos was like Queen of Hearts lackey.
Except
I actually find it to be an exceptional position.
Okay.
It has been a pleasure to meet thee both, but I am to escort you to the surface, should you have such an escort.
sounds good. You're still doing a great job.
Please, follow me!
Yeah, all right. You don't need to shout. We're right here.
Very formally, and he starts like walking with the like mop next to him, and like he uses the mop almost like every like step, like the mop has to touch the ground. You know what I mean? And I think like with that, he will escort the two of you past Jimmy and Mickey back up the stairs. Unless there are any objections. You think like
No.
as he won't go all the way up the stairs. He opens the door at the bottom and is like, "It has been an honor to make your acquaintances." And he bows like very deeply, like, "Should you perchance to return, I hope you will consider taking up residence in our kingdom. Fare thee well, brave explorers."
Okay.
Fare thee well. Good luck
Yeah.
guarding the
Bon
castle.
voyage.
Excellent work leaving with your heads. Not everyone can.
Okay. Again, that's really discomforting.
Ta-ta for now. And
Sure. Okay.
Hey, where the hell are Jonathan and Lyra?
Listen, I don't know. We could have been down here for weeks, for all I know.
And I think that, like, with that, as the pair of you ascend the stairs, you find Jonathan and Lyra, like, standing right at the top. The two of you, Jonathan and Lyra, I don't want to, like, rob you of this moment, but, like, Jonathan, like, as the door closes and Emily steps back in, Lyra's standing there. The two of you have this beat alone.
Lyra was kind of like laser focused at like spot and is just kind of like, clearly thinking hard, but like a little shocked.
And yeah, I think Jonathan is like, is it a bad thing if we? I mean, we've been just accepting these powers and things that we have. Is it good to do that? Like down there, that was the first time seeing all those moths. I guess seeing the gleefulness that she got from just seeing us.
I think she has a point. I think it's probably nice to find a purpose, not just wander around in a world full of people that can't even recognize what you are. But that bastard, he just sent me out of there. I couldn't even stop him.
There are things way stronger than us.
Yeah, but I knew him, though. I knew him.
Yeah, the Oracle lady did say that you two were connected, like way before this.
Did she say anything after I left?
Yeah, it said that like even that you two, you and the suit guy, were like connected before all this kicked off. That it's like your souls are entwined in fate or something.
Maybe this is a stretch. But do you think like that was like Mother Nature?
In there? I mean,
hiding, tired all the time, hates me. Like,
you're not wrong there.
Knows that like she said that like from like before. What?
I think it's with that we hear like, and Nick and Asher like step out, and Jonathan and Lyra are like standing here right in front of the door at the top of the stairs.
Hey, you live.
Where were you guys?
God.
Yeah.
Oh, we were going to talk to a guy, and you guys just, decided to walk away, not tell us where you were going. In an underground tunnel with the map.
Listen, Nick went down the stairs, and I wasn't about to stand there in the dark by myself.
That's fair.
I got a little excited at Wonderland.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
He got a lot excited. It was super weird.
Did you guys end up? Did you get the Mad Tea Party or something? We got Tweedledum and Tweedledee and the Queen of Hearts.
Oh, we got like a room full of children and then a room full of nature.
Yep.
And
I got banished. So, yeah, cool.
All right. Well, this is all super weird.
Nick went into a castle.
Yeah. I went into a shed, and then when I passed through, I was in the castle, like the Queen of Hearts castle. It was crazy. And I'm telling Escher,
did you meet the Queen of Hearts?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool. She has like a red leather jacket and like
I don't know if she's
black boots and black hair. She seems cool. As Nick like kind of like looks away. Anyway, but when I was in the castle, I turned into my like other self.
Yeah, when we were in the little jungle room, Jonathan was, big Jonathan with wings and eyes, red eyes.
I didn't have any control of it, did you?
No, and so much. I mean, Lyra was like a wraith, but it offended the Oracle lady and like sent her booting. Like they kicked her out.
So
did you ever watch the classic film The Matrix? The lady who makes cookies and tells you you're gonna break the vase. We met her. I think that was her.
Of course I have, and that's cool.
When we talked to that like really like the White Rabbit vibe kind of guy, he told us. So let me guess, the Red Queen. So we met Granny Green. Yeah, I had a big
You
Mother
got a
Nature
Wonderland
vibes.
answer for that one, Nick?
I don't.
No,
I
she
mean,
did not
same with
fit.
Caterpillar.
She had a whole like we were in a jungle. We were not here. Like she had a whole thing
So,
like happening.
As you guys are sitting here
Enormous
talking, you see it in the darkness. Just a big pearly white smile, like staring back at you, like, man, I'm glad you guys figured it out. It took you a long time. I thought you'd start like digging around down here way sooner than this.
Way sooner than what? We met this girl today.
Yeah, but you met
Yeah,
me
Jonathan.
like months ago, and we had the whole thing and the phone call. I know it got like awkward and uncomfortable, but like I'm not a creepy watching kind of guy. I'm
Oh,
places.
except you're watching us invisible right
Well,
now.
look, you do what you do. I mean, can you stop the things that you see? Don't you watch?
Is that Charlie?
You just watch things that haven't happened yet.
Charlie.
And Charlie comes like stepping
And
out
you
of the
didn't want to
darkness.
share this information with us sooner?
I'm not that forward. I've met a lot of really.
You're not that forward, except you asked me out on a date, but we're in the middle of a conversation about something completely unrelated
You're a very
to going on a
interesting
date.
person, and you don't live in the sewers. Okay, there's a lot of weird people out there. You
Yeah,
don't
that's annoying
understand
for
the
me, I
kind of
guess.
tension that I'm dealing with all the time. Look, I'm really sorry that I wasn't a little bit more explicit and direct, but that's not like how we roll. There's a whole different sort of
Man.
culture about all of this. Those are, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't live down there, all right? But
Again, I thought we were like at least good acquaintances.
we
and
are,
you
which
totally
is why I'm
blatantly
here
lied
to
us.
make
I asked you what was going on down here, and you said, "I don't know." You lied to me, dude. Like, what the hell? And I just got banished. Who the hell is Samuel?
Oh, that's a fucking dragon. And I think that that's where we have to stop. I think that, like, that's where we'll stop today. And we will pause down for now. How was that? Was that interesting, you guys?
Oh yeah.
That
I
was so
love that.
fun. Okay, now I have to say it. So we've talked about this so many times. Okay, so when Rich and I first started talking again, he was like, "Hey, do you want any movies? You want like Lord of the Rings, like stuff like this?" And I showed him. You watched Alice, like the mini series, right?
No, I downloaded it for you and sent it to you on a hard
Yes.
drive because I was an internet pirate at the
But-
time. Not anymore. And
Not
Taylor
right.
was a young teenager who needed media and is without like a lot of stuff. So I sent her like a big hard drive. But I do have it, and I never got around to watch it. I do love
You
Alice.
didn't. I thought we talked about it. Okay,
Because I
but
got
anyway.
excited to watch it, and I don't think I got to it yet.
Right. Okay, so but in Alice the miniseries, it's literally like Alice in Wonderland, but like more realistic. And like the Hatter is like, like a drug dealer essentially. And like the Red Queen is terrible, played by Kathy Bates.
Ooh.
And
She's so good
Yeah.
in it.
there's a lot of people in it, but the White Knight is like exactly the guy that was like talking to you guys, like with the mop and everything. He even has like all these props. He has like one of the fake ponies with like
With the
on a
stick.
stick
Yeah,
sort of situation. Oh my gosh. And it was such a reflection of that. It's like so bad that it's good kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like it's really not awesome, but
Because that was the one where like the Mad Hatter's very like Panic at the Disco looking, right?
yes,
Like, eyeliner and
100%.
everything.
Yes. Yes.
It's of that era. I think like
It's
whenever
like
it came out, like,
2009.
Yeah,
It's like
that
yeah.
tracks.
Okay. I gotta
But-
check it out.
I just have to say it was so reminiscent of that.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
Literally, Nick's reaction was just my reaction. Like the
Oh
second,
yeah.
the second he came out the door, and you're just like, oh, I'm just like, I got it. I know.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, oh,
I wanted to kind of like
So
throw you the
good.
curveball, like, oh, it's a giant. What's with the giant person? You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
like totally.
That was you told me giant girl. That was my first
Well,
thought.
I also thought it was
Who
way
else is
too.
going to be a giant
I thought it
girl?
was way too
Yeah.
obvious and overt. I did think that. Like, they're going to figure it out immediately, but then it was like, but will they? Like, it is just a giant. Like, if I don't telegraph, like, too much with the clothes and the whole vibe, I gave you the blue eyes and, like, you know,
Yeah.
the names I'm always going to play a little bit with. Anyway, to that end, thank you guys for being patient. And we went a little bit over tonight. We're, like, hanging out long. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
That was a
Yeah.
blast.
It was great.
Also, just
Yeah.
so much more questions now about this world.
I
Just
know.
I feel
really
like we
just
learned a
busted
lot
open another
and
like,
nothing.
door.
You did.
This is like, you know, in the like the source points, right?
I think that's like
Yeah.
all like good role playing games though, is like those when you do learn a lot, you just are like, oh Christ, there's so many more questions. Now what about all this other stuff, you know? Um,
Yeah.
cool. Well, let's geek out to the credits.
Do it.
Gee.
Where am I here? I lost my roll 20 window. Cool. Here I am, geeking out to the credits. Yeah. Does anybody have anything? What do you guys got? Geeking out.
I mean, I spent a lot of time with Escher this session. And considering the last time we were together, I was sent out on a limb. I feel like there was some development here towards the positive.
Okay. Are you going to take a help point with Escher? I think it makes sense.
Yeah, that was going to be my instinct. And Escher's just like, Nick was going to give alcohol to a child. That's a hurt.
You're probably not wrong.
But well,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, Nick did like come get you guys out of the concern for the well-being of said child. So I'm just throwing that out there.
It's true.
The logic tracked.
It did.
You eat something from Wonderland, you grow big. You drink something in Wonderland, and you grow small.
Oh man. Yeah, I think Lyra, like, you know, continuing with this like growing like friendship between Lyra and Jonathan and just generally getting into trouble, like, but also like Jonathan having her back, you know?
Oh, he did. He
We'll
like
take another
very
help
much
with it.
tried to like help.
Yeah, literally very, very much so had her back. So yeah, help point with Jonathan.
Okay, right on.
I think, yeah, I easily could take a help point with Lyra, but I think I'm actually going to take a hurt point for Nick for leaving us. Like,
That's-
especially
Oh,
after
nice.
he was
Yeah.
like, he got my attention, and then, you know, told Jonathan went off and they were gone. And then to find out they didn't get kidnapped, they just left. I think
Mhm.
Jonathan's not too happy with him.
That like totally tracks, and I kind of love that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And so, Asher, are you gonna actually take a hurt point with Nick, or where are you at?
A good question.
It is. You don't have to do any of these things, but yeah.
Yeah. I think I am going to take a hurt point between wanting to give this child a beer and nearly abandoning me in a dark hallway by myself
It's true.
With the Queen of Hearts.
and being so excited to be in Wonderland, which was a really weird move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I hope that was fun for you guys. I think it was. Like, it seemed like I had a blast, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I had like a few notions of like what we were gonna do while we're in the space, and we're like without Kurt, and we're kind of like in a transition period. We're gonna like chat about it a little bit more in terms of like where we go next. But after like a harrowing, hard, like busy couple of days, like over here on the stream, I was like, let's just have fun, you know. Let's hang out for a couple hours and have something fun. And so this was some stuff that I'd been like thinking about for a while, and I tweaked a little bit here and a little bit there, and like I like this notion. When we first like came up with the game concept, we liked you guys as conspiracy busters, but we liked the idea of like many worlds too, and the idea that like you could walk into like a nightclub that's actually like like a Roman Colosseum or whatever, right? And like I don't know.
Yes.
So I thought we would like play a little bit with like the weird shit that we haven't messed with very much yet. But cool, very very cool. So
Yeah.
I'm beat. I need to go like have some dinner
Mm-hmm.
and get some sleep.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
So what's going on with you guys?
Desperately
Kevin, what's going on? What should we be paying attention to that you're doing in the world?
So there's the good old Everything is Super, which I do with Josh Wigler every week. We're about to start our What If coverage. Actually, it won't be with Josh Wigler, though. It's going to be a little bit of a what if. Everything is Super, at least for 2 episodes, is hosted by Kevin and Mike Bloom, as Josh is on vacation.
We do love that.
So the first 2 episodes is going to be Mike and I, so there's your little what if there. And after that, the good old YA podcast as part of the post show recaps patrons. If you sign up at the $5 level, you get access to all these exclusive podcasts. And I'm doing one with Melissa Woodward where we are covering young adult fiction. We are wrapping up the Twilight Saga, our first big foray, and I'm very excited about that.
We're on the great to listen to.
It's such a blast to cover it. We're on the very last film, Breaking Dawn Part 2, which we decided to split into 2 parts. So Breaking Dawn Part 2, Part 1 is already out. And coming up very soon will be Breaking Dawn Part 2, Part 2. And then after that, if you listen in, you'll see what we're going for. But it's if you've heard us talk at all, it's pretty obviously out there. But I'm pretty pumped about what's coming.
And one of the incentives that got unlocked during the fundraising we did for the marathon was for you guys to watch The Host, correct?
That is correct.
So you're doing Stephanie Meyer's The Host on YA, and I'm excited because one of the other incentives, I like threw a little bit of a fit in that last session last night. Like, you people need a rally, and we need to break $4,000 because I want to do the freaking Avengers D&D game on Everything is Super badly. And so
it was so funny because you kept like saying that, and Melissa was like, "Who's gonna tell Rich that we already got there?" And you were like,
anyway, I'm really excited for that. So we have some more fun stuff that I get to like look forward to like working with you on going forward, and that's gonna be a blast. But go check out YA, go check out post show recaps. It's really really cool. How about you, Taylor? What's up with you?
Next week, or what day is it? Sunday? Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. I'll be back with Dragon Age Origins. Twitch.tv/Rania422 and Rania422 on Twitter.
Heck yeah. Really good stuff. Obviously, I think we're off Firelight Tales tomorrow night. I'm pretty sure we're down 2 people, so we'll talk tomorrow. But we'll be back on Tuesday with Dragonfly 2, and you can catch Taylor there on Monday and Tuesdays here, where she's doing cool stuff. Sheldon, how about you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at ShellDumb. It's my name, but it's dumb. And you can also follow my wife and I do a podcast called The Anglo Files, where we review British TV and movies. The latest movie that we did was the British dark comedy Four Lions. It's fantastic. It's very dark, but it's really great. And then coming up next, our next episode will be on, it's called Father Ted. It's an older British sitcom.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. I want to check this out. 4 Lions. I love a dark comedy, man. So it sounds up my alley.
Yeah, it's got a really young Riz Ahmed as
oh, nice.
He's so talented.
Yeah, he's freaking great, man. Okay, no, cool. And yeah, I'm doing my thing. If you guys are here and you haven't watched it, you should go check out that marathon stream because it's freaking ridiculous. It's 41 hours of really good D&D, and I'm impressed. And I spent just an awesome time with really good people raising money for good causes, which, like, I don't know that it gets a hell of a lot better than that when it comes to like throwing dice and telling stories. So it was like a true pride for me to be able to host that here. I'm really, really proud of it. Go scope it out. And yeah, I skipped Zed. Did I skip Zed? I thought I started with the Zed.
That's being very polite.
Zed, what's going on with you?
I think I still have another episode of the Final Fantasy VII Remake podcast coming out this week before I think we will have a week off while Josh is on vacation, and I'm trying to beat the game on hard mode now that I've beaten the game.
And I saw how you feeling
So
about
many
hard
sewers.
mode.
It's a bit of a... Well, there's a big struggle in the first chapter, and then it's not so bad for a while. I'm through chapter 4, I think, at this point. But I'm back at work at a real job out in the world because we live in a capitalist society where even in a pandemic, we have to make sure the economy is running. So,
Keep that money flowing.
there's that. Mole Patrol is still happening.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think there will not be a break there because we recorded several episodes in a very short period of time.
Did you hit
and-
the episode? Can I ask? There was like a key point that you're looking forward to hitting at Mole Patrol. Did you do it yet?
No.
Okay.
Josh asked if we did on the episode that's coming out next week, and we told him no, or this week, I guess, at this point.
Okay.
And then Jess and I will do a spoiler episode next week. So if you've watched The Mole and have thoughts or questions, you can send that to molepatrol@robhasawebsite.com, I think, or just hit us up on Twitter. That's it.
Cool.
That's it.
Go follow Zed at Hard Rock Hope. They're doing cool stuff. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bounce you. Yeah, and we'll be back. Maybe not tomorrow night, but we'll definitely be back on Tuesday at 8 p.m. with Dragonfly, which we're really excited about. And if you like what we're doing here, keep your eye on that because you'll want to. How about that? Anyway. Okay, that's it. We're going to go. I'm really tired. I need to take a nap. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.